to the people of congressmen. He might be indicating at something that would be happening in 2028 or in the next couple of days. If at all Congress loses its power, he might be indicating that if at all there is a tussle in the government, there might be a Nepal-like situation without which Yatindra Sidramaya, who was a doctor by profession, wouldn't have made such a statement. We will also have to see how the father of Yatindra Sidramaya, the Chief Minister of the state, Sidramaya, reacts on this, because previously when Yatindra Sidramaya mentioned Satish Jarkiholi as the successor in the state of Karnataka to the position of Chief Minister, Sidramaya barged for him. Sidramaya backed Yatindra's statement. But with respect to this statement made by Yatindra, will there be any repercussion? Will there be a disciplinary measure from the AICC? Will there be a notice given to Yatindra? Will there be a show cause notice given by the Karnataka state as well? Will there be no action against Yatindra? How will the Home Department and the State Intelligence Department work with respect to Yatindra's statement? Because this surely is an intimidating verse or statement which has been given out by Yatindra. We will have to wait and see for at least 2 days, if at all there will be any response from the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee as well as AICC and the Home Department of Karnataka. Rakshita.
Right. All right. Thank you so much for joining us with those details coming in, Abhishek. We have some reactions also on that story coming in.
ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ದೇಶದ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಸಾಂವಿಧಾನಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಹಾಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದೇಶ ಹಾಳಾಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಅಧಿಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇವತ್ತು ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಡದಾರಿಯಿಂದ ಮತಕಳು ಮಾಡಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಜನನೇ ಸಿಡಿದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಜನ ನೇಪಾಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಆ ರೀತಿ ಇವರು ಕೂಡ ಅಟ್ಟಾಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಡಿತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದಾಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸಹಿ ಸಂಗ್ರಹಣೆ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಯಶಸ್ವಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ದೇಶದ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಸಾಂವಿಧಾನಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಹಾಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದೇಶ ಹಾಳಾಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಅಧಿಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇವತ್ತು ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಡದಾರಿಯಿಂದ ಮತಕಳು ಮಾಡಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಜನನೇ ಸಿಡಿದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಜನ ನೇಪಾಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಆ ರೀತಿ ಇವರು ಕೂಡ ಅಟ್ಟಾಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಡಿತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದಾಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸಹಿ ಸಂಗ್ರಹಣೆ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಯಶಸ್ವಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು.
Right, viewers, we have a big story that we are tracking. Viewers, the play that is going on by Pakistan in Bangladesh now. The interim government led by Muhammad Yunus is preparing to roll out the red carpet for controversial Islamic preacher, wanted Indian fugitive Zakir Naik. In fact, the US-led administration has approved a month-long nationwide tour for Zakir Naik, marking his first ever visit to Bangladesh. In fact, Pakistan General was also near the Shiliguri corridor. He was in Dhaka. You can see those images of the Pak General, the Pak officers. And we saw that the Pakistan General was also given a map, distorted map. And then you have the Pakistan Joint Chief of Staff's provocation. There you have. That's the picture I was talking about. That was Yunus's so-called gift. It's in the garb of a gift. That's a provocation from both Pakistan and Bangladesh, as that sort of artwork was presented to the general that seemed like depicting Assam and northeastern states as part of Bangladesh. Now you can understand what Bangladesh's interim chief is trying to insinuate here, what he's trying to provoke, how he's trying to provoke. The Pakistan's Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee Chairperson General Sahir Shamshad Mirza, he was in Dhaka over the weekend and met Yunus, and there you see the warming up of the ties, and now you see the Hafiz Saeed's aid as well. Hafiz Saeed's aid also in Bangladesh, and you can see all smiles in those pictures. Those are all India's enemies converging in Bangladesh. India on alert, of course. You can see terror mastermind Hafiz Saeed's ally visiting near Bangladesh border, raising security concerns. Ibtisam Ilahi Zahir, the closest aide of Hafiz Saeed, and he is much close to Indian border there. And of course, the Joint Chief of Staff's provocation with that so-called artwork, that's a piece of provocation, nothing else. And these are the visuals that are coming in. And of course, as we told you, Zakir Naik will also be spending a month in Bangladesh. He's also said to get this red carpet welcome, just like he got in Pakistan a few months ago. So this is a dangerous, of course, series of events that we are witnessing on India's eastern frontier, setting off alarm bells, of course. But this is the provocation coming in from Pakistan and Bangladesh as they join hands after Hasina's ouster interim chief, or rather the chief of interim government of, and not at all an elected government, that is of Yunus, as he's been trying to provoke time and again, and radical elements have been given a platform in, and now the terrorists are also getting a platform in Bangladesh, in the public eye, open support from Yunus to the provocateurs, to the terrorists. All right, we were now talking about what's happening between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Sources say that the talks between Pakistan and Afghan sides in Turkey ended without any result. Now, what was most striking was that the Pakistani delegation appeared unfamiliar with negotiating etiquette, spoke of topic, sometimes behaved disrespectfully, and also used harsh language. Even the mediators, the Qatari and the Turkish representatives, were shocked by the conduct, the character and the attitude of the Pakistani representative negotiating team. And in private remarks to the Afghan delegation, it said that Pakistan deals with many very bad neighbors, and below is the
that the talks between Afghanistan and Pakistan in Turkey, but we have some sources and they give us some reports that the talks has been stopped by Pakistan, and Pakistan lead the table of talks with Afghanistan. As you know that already Afghan Islamic Emirat officials said that they didn't have any relation with TTP and also other groups, and the TTP are active in KPKN for the Jura line. But there is no TTP leaders. As you know that the Pakistan army have targeted some civilians in Abdul Hafiz Square in Kabul. They targeted our local cricket team in Paktika. Always Pakistan have targeted civilian in Afghanistan. Also, they closed the border in Jura line in Turkham Gate more than 15 days. Now the table of talks.
US and India are joining hands now in the Indian Ocean, a powerful show of naval partnership to boost maritime security and strategic interoperability. Here's a quick report on that.
In the heart of the Indian Ocean, US and Indian maritime patrol aircrafts, the P-8A Poseidon and P-8I Neptune, took to the skies for a week-long joint training near Diego Garcia. The combined detachment, conducted from October 22nd to 28th, focused on sharpening anti-submarine warfare tactics and boosting maritime domain awareness, key to countering underwater threats in the Indo-Pacific. The mission follows joint drills like Tiger Triumph 2025, reinforcing the growing interoperability between two naval powers. Crews from both nations worked together on operational planning, intelligence sharing and coordinated sea surveillance. With US 7th Fleet and the Indian Navy working in tandem, the exercise reaffirms both nations' shared commitment to ensuring peace, stability and freedom across the Indo-Pacific seas.
Bharat 1 Minute, brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Kakinada city in Andhra Pradesh received rainfall and winds this morning as an impact of Cyclone Monta. Weather authorities have warned of rough sea conditions along the Andhra coast from Nellore to Srikakulam, with waves likely to rise between 2 and 4.7 meters. Most parts of coastal Andhra Pradesh will be receiving light to moderate rainfall. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended warm greetings to people across the country on the auspicious conclusion of the 4-day-long Chhath Puja, praying for the well-being and prosperity of all devotees. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi expressed his joy over the successful completion of the festival. Home Minister Amit Shah expressed happiness over the surrender of 21 Maoists along with their arms in Kanke district of Chhattisgarh. In a post on X, Shah commended them for joining the mainstream, abjuring violence at the call of Modi government. And now, viewers, India has issued a no-term for exercises in Bay of Bengal for a duration of 11 days. Now, that is the notice to all airmen that coincides with multiple aerial exercises that are underway in the region. We will get you more details on that after this very, very short break. Don't go anywhere.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और मसाला, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो, मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation. The exercise will run from October 30 to November 10. Under the umbrella of Exercise Trishul, India's armed forces are set to conduct joint operations across diverse terrains, from offensive maneuvers in the Sir Creek and desert sectors to amphibious drills of the Saurashtra.
This is Republic Jack Oliver's studio. Stay tuned for all the breaking news and updates. I am Tanisha Avasti. Let's get started.
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi and National Law School Bengaluru.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध, MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous
Republic gets the inside story on Tata Trust. Insiders say majority votes against continuation of Mehli Mistry in Tata Trust. A massive development which could lead to the ouster of Mehli Mistry. Republic forced to correct misreporting on Tata Trust. Misreporting by Pink Media corrected by Republic Business. As we get the Tata Trust story spot on. India's enemies converge in Bangladesh, close to the border with India. Radical preacher and Hafiz cites aid from Pakistan. Ilahi Zahir seen camping in Bangladesh border districts to spread hate against India. Top Pakistani General and Chief of Joint Staff Shamshad Mirza, still camping in Bangladesh, will be visiting now the Shiliguri corridor close to the Chicken's Neck. India issues no-time for exercises in Bay of Bengal for a duration of 11 days. Notice to all airmen coincides with multiple aerial exercises that are underway in the region. Air India bus catches fire at Terminal 3 in Delhi. All passengers reported to be safe. Pakistan-Afghanistan talks collapse. Inside details on Republic as Afghan government sources say Pakistan spoke disrespectfully and refused to stop US drone strikes from its soil. Karnataka government order restricting activities of RSS stayed by the Karnataka High Court. Order asked RSS to seek government permission before any gathering. All right, yeah, breaking news coming in from Bihar. Prashant Kishor, the founder of Jan Suraj Party, is embroiled now in a controversy over having two voter ID cards, one in West Bengal and another in Bihar. Now, documents reveal that Kishor is registered as a voter in both Bengal and Bihar. Now, that sparked questions about electoral transparency. This is the case of dual registration, dual voter registration. There you have the copies of the voter ID card of Kishor. He is the Jan Suraj Party chief. His party has debuted in this elections. He is not contesting the elections himself, but he has two voter ID cards. Address is listed in as 121 Kalighat Road, the Trinamool Congress office in Bhabanipur, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's constituency. That's one voter ID address. The other is in Bihar. He's registered under the Sasaram parliamentary constituency in Karghar assembly segment with his polling station at Madhya Vidyalaya, and that is at his ancestral village. Chirag Paswan has raised questions over Kishor's dual ID cards, voter ID cards. His team, in fact, on the other hand, Kishor's team claims he became a Bihar voter after 2021 Bengal elections and has applied to cancel his West Bengal voter card.
जिनके घर शीशे के होते हैं वो दूसरों के उस पे पत्थर मारते हैं, कैसे चलेगा प्रभु? आपके खुद के जब दो आईडी हैं और आप दूसरों के ऊपर आप सवाल उठाते हैं, दूसरों की आप सो कॉल्ड पोल खोल करने का आप काम करते हैं, जबकि आपका खुद इस तरीके का आपके ड्यूअल वोटरशिप का मामला आपका सामने आ रहा है, दो जगह आपने अपने वोटर आईडीज आपने बना रखे हैं, जो कि कतई उचित नहीं है। और आप तो उन लोगों में से हैं जो जानकार हैं। ऐसा भी नहीं है कि अनजाने में अगर किसी से कोई गलती हो गई, नहीं किसी को जानकारी, नहीं किसी को पता, बट आप तो दूसरों को समझाने वालों में से हैं। तो इस तरीके से दो जगह वोटर आईडी बनाना मुझे नहीं लगता ये कहीं से उचित है, और जानकारी होते हुए भी इसको आपने सुधार नहीं किया, ये गलत है।
All right, Prakash is joining us live from Patna. On that, Prakash, Chirag Paswan has given substantial evidence alleging that it is Prashant Kishor who has two voter IDs, one in Bengal, the other in Bihar. And has Jan Suraj Party responded to the allegations that Chirag Paswan has given out at them?
Well, it is not Chirag Paswan's evidence, but I have the papers with me, and there are two evidences of it. One, Prashant Kishor's voter ID card is registered at Madhya Vidyalaya Konara in Sasaram district. This is one, this is his hometown, and this is justified. Now, the other voter ID card is in Bengal, which is in Kalighat. And this is the photograph of Prashant Kishor in Kalighat, 121 house number Kalighat, and his father's name is also written there, Srikant Pandey. And the 121 Kalighat is the house where the TMC office is located right now at the moment. Earlier it was TMC MP's Abhishek Banerjee's residence there. Abhishek Banerjee is also the nephew of Mamata Banerjee, the Bengal Chief Minister. There you see the voter ID card of Prashant Kishor. And one more document I have is that of Prashant Kishor's voter ID card, which was updated on 6/1/25 as well. And now that the SIR has come into force, all the voter ID cards would be freezed as of now. Now it's a case of dual voter ID card, and we get to know that recently when Prashant Kishor got to know about this exercise being done of his dual voter ID card, then he had applied for the cancellation on 25th of this month. So he had done it knowingly. And the other aspect of it is that when Prashant Kishor was there in Bengal, CPM had alleged that how come Prashant Kishor's name is mentioned here, added here in the voter ID card in Bengal, despite the fact that he is not an original resident of Bengal. Yes, it is true, because Prashant Kishor originally hails from Bihar. His native place is in Konar, in Sasaram district of Bihar. It justifies that he can have his voter ID card there. And if he lives permanently in Delhi, he can also have his voter ID card there as well. But how come it is in Bengal, where he was living on a temporary basis as a political consultant to TMC in the intervening period between 2020 to 2021, when the elections were being held, where he was assisting IPAC, as he says. So that was ethically wrong. He should not have got his voter ID card registered, because he was not an original resident of that place. And we are told that the CPM had objected to it, as his name was registered in the voter ID card then. Now it's a case of dual voter ID card for Prashant Kishor, who alleges that the JDU ministers and the RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav is corrupt. Now the same formula applies to him also. He should answer about this whole incident. Back to you.
Right. Prakash, in fact, keeping in mind that Prashant Kishor is not fighting elections this time himself, what are the kind of legal or political implications and repercussions that this two voter ID card allegation could have on him?
Well, there were people in Bihar, like we witnessed in the SIR, that they were having two different voter ID cards. One in their own, suppose if I have my native place in some other district and I reside in Patna, so there were two voter ID cards for many people. So people were asked to cancel or terminate one of those voter ID card. But this case is unique, that you are having two voter ID cards in two different states. It's a peculiar case. How can you have a voter ID card in Bengal when you are not a resident of that state? You are not a Bengali. You are not residing there on a permanent basis. You cannot have multiple ID cards. Wherein people in Bihar, supposing people in Bengal, somebody is from say Shanti Niketan in Bengal, and somebody he resides in Calcutta. They were having two ID cards, but you cannot have two different ID cards in two different states. It's like Bangladeshis having their Aadhaar card in Bihar, or Bangladeshis having their ID card in Bengal. It's the same case. Although there are two nations, so two states, in two different states he is having. So I don't know what kind of action the Election Commission would take. Definitely the Election Commission would serve a notice to him, both the election commissions, and seek an explanation and what are the kind of actions that could be taken that is in the purview of the Election Commission. We would ask them what kind of action would be taken.
Right. Prakash, also since you just mentioned that all of us know about how Prashant Kishor did serve Mamata Banerjee's government earlier when he hadn't initiated and issued a political party, when he had not started a political party. He did serve in Bengal for a couple of months and years there. Do you think it was a personal favor that could have been incorporated by the Mamata government to Prashant Kishor then, who was helping the Mamata Banerjee government out in the elections?
Well, I don't know if Mamata Banerjee was aware about it or not, but yes, if it's the TMC office, which is the original residence, the address where Prashant Kishor's name is located, the address, PCR, please fix the echo, please.
All right, Prakash. Yes, we'll try fixing that audio, Prakash, and come back to you. For now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move across to some more stories that we are tracking. India has issued a notice to airmen over Bay of Bengal for a 11-day period, indicating the conduct of major aerial or missile-related exercises in the region. The NOTAM, which alerts pilots and aviation authorities to restricted airspace, comes amid multiple ongoing aerial drills in and around the Indian Ocean, signaling heightened operational activity by the Indian Armed Forces. Such extended NOTAMs are often linked to missile tests or large-scale defense exercises as a part of India's regular strategic and training operations. All right, Ishan is joining us live from the national capital on that. Ishan, the NOTAM that has been issued for over Bay of Bengal, it is a 11-day period, we learn. And talk to us about when is the NOTAM exercises, when is the NOTAM starting, which is the final date that has been decided?
The NOTAM issued is from 10 a.m. on 3rd of November till 14th of November at 16:30 hours. The total duration of the NOTAM is around 11 days and 6 hours. This notice has been issued for a period indicating military exercises. This NOTAM has been issued near the Abdul Kalam Island and extends in a polygonal way eastward towards international waters. The Bay of Bengal area covered in this particular NOTAM is approximately 250 kilometers and is indicative of a exercise, possibly a aerial exercise in the region. The NOTAM has restricted airspace as well as regional shipping lanes as well. The NOTAM is effective for a period of 11 days and 6 hours and is coinciding with the upcoming COP 2025 exercises. However, there is no direct link between the two exercises, but it is indicative that COP 2025 is also taking place in West Bengal itself. Back to you.
Right. Ishan, also talk to us about the significance of the NOTAM being issued specifically in the Bay of Bengal region.
This is a very significant issue because of the issuing of the NOTAM in the Bay of Bengal region. A lot of the missile tests and other activities take place in this region only, and it is specifically near the Abdul Kalam Island. Abdul Kalam Island is the primary location for testing of new weapons and missile tests.
All right, Ishan, I will have to move on right now because we're getting in some breaking news that's coming in. We learned that a small plane has crashed in Kenya's coastal region of Kwale early Tuesday while it was en route to Masai Mara National Reserve with 12 people feared dead is what the officials say. Now, the crash happened in a hilly and forested area about 40 kilometers, that is nearly 25 miles from the Diani airstrip. Authorities are now saying that the Kwale County Commissioner Stephen has told the foreign media that there are operations at the crash site that is ongoing and more details would be provided later. We also learned that the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority has said that there are nearly 12 people who were on board the aircraft and authorities were investigating the cause of the crash. Now, Masai Mara is a national reserve, a very, very popular tourist destination, and it features the annual wide beast migration from the Serengeti in Tanzania. That is exactly where the crash has happened. Investigation is still underway on what could be the possible reason behind the crash. However, we learned that there are many people that could have been feared dead. Nearly 12 is what we learned were on board and that could have been feared dead. However, there is no official confirmation that has come to the fore yet. This was a small plane that had crashed in Kenya's coastal region of Kwale, and this happened earlier today. It was en route Masai Mara National Reserve. It had 12 people and all the 12 people have been feared dead is what the officials say. Now, the crash happened and it was a hilly region and a forested area about 40 kilometers from the Diani airstrip. Authorities are also saying that the Kwale County Commissioner Stephen has told the media there that the operations at the crash site were ongoing to find out if there are any survivors in the plane crash that has happened, and that an investigation would be initiated on what could have been the possible reasons behind the crash. All right, with that, we move on to some other stories that we are tracking, and this is regarding the bus that caught fire, the Air India bus that caught fire today in the afternoon around 1 p.m. It was an Air India bus. Fortunately, nobody has been injured in the incident, but this could have been a huge cause of concern because there were nearly 3 aircrafts that were parked where the bus had caught fire. Air India has not issued a statement as of now. This was a fire that broke out in an Air India bus that was parked near the Terminal 3 of the Indira Gandhi International Airport this afternoon. Deputy Commissioner of Police of the IGI had issued a statement and said that the bus was not carrying any passengers or luggage at the time of incident. The incident was reported at 1 p.m. to the IGI Airport Police Station, following which there were fire tenders, local police and personnel from the Central Industrial Force that were rushed to the spot. The fire has been doused and has been brought under control. However, the main point of contention here, ladies and gentlemen, is how did a bus that was standing just meters away from Air India plane at Delhi's Airport 33 caught fire, and this could have resulted in a big tragedy. However, it was averted. The main question, however, remains on what led to the bus catching fire and who is actually responsible for it. The Delhi International Airport Limited, which operates the Indira Gandhi International Airport, called it a stray incident and said that there were no injuries. All right, we're getting Harsha live from the national capital on that. Harsha, this was a big incident that was averted, a huge tragedy that was averted, but the question is, how did the bus really catch fire, and that too at a proximity where there were 3 aircrafts that were already stationed at the tarmac?
So that's the subject of investigation, and investigation has already begun. If we say right now only DGCA and DIAL all have asked Air India to submit a detailed investigation report, an incident report and prelim report along with it, attaching that since how old was this model, whether any audit was done or not, and how, at what time, and what were the reasons behind this bus catching fire. And also the Air India has to submit this incident prelim report in another 1 hour to the regulatory body. Is a very big incident. However, there were no casualties and the tragedy was averted, but one cannot just ignore the fact that this was a big incident because there were 3 airlines which were parked next to the stationary bus. So how, and you know, the varsity of the danger which could have led with this particular bus to the airline as well can't be ignored. And the airline which was parked next to this stationary bus was no other than Air India only. The distance was only 30-40 meters. It's a very less distance between the airline and the bus which caught fire. However, there was no passenger at that time, but still, keeping in mind that how close that area was, there were several ground handling staff which were operating that particular Air India flight. There were ground handling staff and operations agency staff as well, which were at that time at that bay 32 of the T3 terminal. So there are several factors which could have led to this bus catching fire, and therefore it is again and again being stated that the deep investigation has to be done behind the maintenance, repair and audit of this Air India bus which Air India bought from SATS. And how old was this model? This was a CNG bus. We have got to know that this was an old model CNG bus and it was stationary at that particular time. 12 noon was the time when the bus caught fire, and after that the fire tenders took another 20 minutes to reach the spot, to reach bay 32 to douse the fire. We have several visuals which we are playing right now on our screen as well. The up shot, the close shot and the distance shot as well from the bus catching fire till the time the fire was doused, and also how the evacuation process of the driver took place. There is no major injury to the driver of the bus, but he was safely evacuated by the ground handling staff at that particular time. But it could have been a major incident if there were passengers on board. There were no passengers on board at that time, but but Air India's maintenance is still in question. We have been questioning Air India in the maintenance and repairing of the airline, and this time the question arises in the audit of the buses being used by Air India at terminal as well.
All right, Harsh. Yes.
Body has set for all these airlines.
All right, yes. Harsha, one more question before I let you go. We believe that the IGI airport officials have issued a statement saying that there were no injuries because there were no passengers and no luggage that was there in the Air India bus. Are we expecting a statement from Air India on that note?
So we are waiting from Air India to release a statement. We have already asked Air India to release a detailed statement to all of us, to the media as well. In this particular incident, the Air India have been approached twice by us, but till now there has been no statement from Air India till now. But yes, the statement has come out from IGI. The AI has also clearly stated that there was no major injury, there was no casualty, there were no passengers on board. The fire was doused at right time, and also the entire area was cordoned off. There was no vehicle. In fact, the airline which was parked next to it, the bus was immediately removed from that particular Bay 32. It was first doused and then it was taken to a corner area for intense dousing of the fire and intense clearance of anything inside it as well. So right now there is no injury, there's no casualty. The operations are right now smooth and in accordance with the AI protocol as well. Right now, we can say for 1 hour the situation was not very well at Terminal T3. There was situation where the several airlines were delayed in landing and in takeoff, but right now the operations are smooth. Back to you.
Right, Harsha, thank you very much for getting us those details. Moving across to some more breaking news that's coming in from the state of Chhattisgarh, where we learned that a 40 kg IED had disposed of by the security forces in Sukma district. The IED was planted by Naxals, by Maoists, with the intention to harm the security forces. We learned that a search operation is currently underway around the spot and that no injuries or losses have been reported so far. And that's the latest visual that we have, where 40 kg IED has been where 40 kg IED has been disposed of by the security forces. We learned that the Maoists had planted this IED, 40 kg of IED, in order to harm the security forces in Sukma district. Bharat is joining us live from Bijapur on that note. Bharat, हमें पता चल रहा है कि ये 40 किलो का आईडी था जो डिस्पोज ऑफ हो चुका है इस बार, बट हमें ये बताइए कि सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस को कहां से टिप ऑफ मिला इस आईडी एक्सप्लोजन के बारे में जो रखा गया था सुकमा के फॉरेस्ट में? All right, we'll try connecting back to our Bijapur reporter, but that's the latest visual that we have. Viewers, on your screen is the visual of a 40 kg IED that is being disposed of in the state of Chhattisgarh, in Sukma district to be specific. Sukma has always been the hotbed of a Maoist terrorist there. We learned that today an IED of nearly 40 kg was disposed of by the security forces in the area. The IED was planted with the intention by the Maoist, with the intention to harm the security forces. All right, so those are the first and exclusive visuals that the public has accessed of the 40 kg IED being disposed of in Sukma district. It is a big breakthrough as far as security forces are concerned that they have achieved. Yesterday as well, as many as 21 Maoist cadres had surrendered in Chhattisgarh's Kanked district after handing over 18 weapons to the authorities. All right, Bharat, my colleague, is back with us on the phone line on that note. Bharat, talk to us about what was the tip-off that was given to the security forces for the 40 kg IED that was disposed of in Sukma?
देखिए, नक्सलियों का कोर इलाका कहा जाता है जिस इलाके पे माओवादियों ने आईडी का इस्तेमाल किया था जवानों को नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए। उस पूरे इलाके की अगर बात की जाए, वो ऐसा इलाका कहा जाता है जिस इलाके पे जवान जो है एंटी नक्सल ऑपरेशन पे निकलते हैं, उसी रोड से निकलते हैं। ऐसे में कहीं ना कहीं जवानों को नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए जो माओवादी हैं वो आईडी का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। तो 40 किलो का जो आईडी है वो इस पूरे इलाके पे लगाया गया था। कहीं ना कहीं अगर वो फटता तो एक बड़ा धमाका होता और काफी जो नुकसान है वो देखने को मिलता है। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं जिस तरीके से सुरक्षा बलों के जवानों के द्वारा जो ऑपरेशन तेज कर दी जा रही है, उसके तहत पे कहीं ना कहीं जो जवान है वो मुस्तैद रहते हैं, चौकन्ने रहते हैं, जिसके तर्ज पे ही लगातार उस पूरे इलाके पे ऑपरेशन पे निकलते हैं। उनको जिस तरीके से जानकारी मिलती है जिस इलाके पे निकलते हैं, क्योंकि पूरा इलाका, मैंने पहले भी कहा था, नक्सलियों का पूरा इलाका कहा जाता है। इस वजह से हर उस इलाके पे जवानों की मुस्तैदी अलग अलग तरीके से होती है। जो आईडी डिटेक्शन जो मशीन होती है उसके द्वारा ये जानकारी उनको पहले से ही प्राप्त हो चुकी थी कि उस पूरे इलाके पे आईडी का इस्तेमाल किया गया है। एक नहीं, दो नहीं, 40 किलो का आईडी माओवादियों ने उस पूरे इलाके पे लगाया था जवानों को नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं जवानों की सतर्कता की कहीं बात कहें या फिर उनकी इंटेलिजेंस की जो रिपोर्ट है उसकी अगर बात की जाए, उसके तर्ज पर ही उस पूरे आईडी को अपने कब्जे में ले लिया गया। कब्जे में लेने के पश्चात उस आईडी को जवानों ने वहीं पे ही डिफ्यूज कर दिया। कहीं ना कहीं जवानों की जो मनोबल है इससे बढ़ जाती है। एक बड़ी घटना टलने से पहले ही जवानों ने एक बड़ी जो कामयाबी है उनके हाथ में लग जाती है। इस तरीके की जानकारी जो है अभी वर्तमान में जो अपडेट है वो बाहर निकल के आ रही है। बहरहाल मैं आपको बता दूं, जिस इलाके की बात की जा रही है पूरा इलाका एक समय नक्सलियों का इलाका कहा जाता था, लेकिन नक्सलियों के इलाकों पे भी जिस तरीके से छत्तीसगढ़ में बीजेपी की सरकार बनने के बाद उन इलाकों पे भी जवानों की आमद हो रही है, तो कहीं ना कहीं जो तस्वीर है वो बदलते हुए नजर आ रही है।
Absolutely, Bharat. In fact, it's a big breakthrough as far as crackdown on red terror is concerned. That's the story that we're tracking very closely, and it's time for us to now slip into a short break. But after the break, we'll tell you how India's enemies have now converged in Bangladesh, close to the border with India. Radical preacher and Hafiz Saeed's aide from Pakistan has been seen camping in Bangladesh border districts to spread hate against India.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation. The exercise will run from October 30 to November 10 under the umbrella of exercise.
This is Republic Jack Oliver's studio. Stay tuned for all the breaking news and updates. I am Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा और मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous losses involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an F-18F Super Hornet. Both aircraft operate with highly integrated avionics that depend on accurate satellite navigation, data link connectivity to the carrier, and redundant onboard sensors during launch, recovery, and maritime patrol. In the South China Sea, China has systematically layered electronic warfare systems across its man-made islands and outposts to shape the electromagnetic environment and gain asymmetric advantages short of kinetic conflict. China's deployed network combines long-range surveillance radars, shore-based jamming arrays.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
You're watching Live Breaking. I'm Arnab with you. Well, Republic Business and Republic TV have got the inside story on the Tata Trust, and it's a big development that is pointing to the ouster of Maheli Mistry. We'll get you all the latest from that, much more on the other side of the headlines. Republic gets the inside story on Tata Trust. Insiders say majority votes against continuation of Maheli Mistry in Tata Trust. A massive development that could lead to the ouster of Mistry. Republic compelled to correct the misreporting on Tata Trusts by Pink Media. It's corrected by Republic Business as we get the Tata Trust story spot on. India's enemies converge in Bangladesh, close to the border with India. Radical preacher and Hafiz Saeed's aide from Pakistan, Ilahi Zahir, seen camping in Bangladesh border district to spread hate against India. Top Pakistani General and Chief of Joint Staff Shamshad Mirza continues to camp in Bangladesh. Now he'll visit Shiliguri corridor close to the Chicken's Neck. India issues NOTAM for exercises in Bay of Bengal for a duration of 11 days. Notice to airmen coincides with multiple aerial exercises that are underway in the region. Air India bus catches fire at Terminal 3 in Delhi. All passengers reported to be safe. Pakistan and Afghanistan talks collapse. Inside details on Republic as Afghanistan government says the sources tell us that Pak spoke disrespectfully and refused to stop US drone strikes from its soil. Karnataka government order restricting activities of RSS stayed by the Karnataka High Court. Order asked RSS to seek government permission before any gathering.
रही तो आने वाले दिनों में फेब तक के लिए लॉन्ग टर्म एक प्लान किया जाएगा। ऐसी ही सॉर्टिस अगले कई दिन तक चलती रहेंगी और तकरीबन 9 से 10 इस तरह की ट्रायल्स लगातार दिल्ली में हर रोज एक दिन छोड़कर जैसा भी मौसम अलाउ करेगा होती रहेंगी। अभी तक की क्लाउड सीडिंग की ये जानकारी है। हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि अगर हमारा ये सक्सेसफुल रहा तो आने वाले दिनों में ये एक बहुत बड़ी देश में पहली इस तरह की मैं कहूँगा कि साइंटिफिक तरीके से बरसात करा के पोल्यूशन को बिठाने का एक बड़ा पहल होगी और हमें यकीन है कि रेखा गुप्ता जी की इस सोच के चलते हम इसमें कामयाबी हासिल करेंगे।
All right, so that was Maninder Singh Sirsa speaking on cloud seeding in Delhi and adjacent areas. It's for the first time in India, viewers. This is a first that's happening. It's cloud seeding, it's artificial rain, and that's shortly going to begin to curb pollution, to battle pollution. It's a man-made, of course, problem, that is pollution that is now being tackled with man-made rain. And this is an artificial rain that is going to take place in Delhi NCR in a short while from now. The first chopper had landed today, and we'll show you the visuals. There will be, of course, 2 phases We will get you more details on that. All right, we have some more breaking news coming in right now. The AI SATS, the ground handling service of Air India, this is a statement on Air India bus fire, viewers. That's the breaking news we have right now. The ground handling party issued statement on the bus that caught fire at Indira Gandhi Airport, International Airport, Terminal 3. DGCA is probing the matter. Harsha joins us on the broadcast. Harsha, what has the ground bodies really stated?
So they have also stated that they have no clarity, they have no idea how this particular bus caught fire, and they also have stated that all is well, there was no casualties which was reported, finding more reasons behind the major incident which has occurred at T3, but they still are stating that they have no clarity, they have no clue what led to this bus catching fire. So right now we have two statements, one from SATS and the other statement which has been issued by the Indira Gandhi International Airport itself, where both the two bodies are clearly stating that there was no clarity, how the bus caught fire, and also there was no major tragedy, there was no passengers on board, finding more reasons behind how the bus has caught fire, and also investigation underway. This is the statement which has been issued by both the bodies, but the major incident statement what we are waiting for is from Air India. It's very important that Air India now releases a statement, gives the clarity on the model of the bus, gives the clarity on the CNG bus, how old this bus was, and also give the clarity that at the time when the bus caught fire, what was the situation of that bus, whether bus was going to terminal to board the passengers, how a stationary bus had caught fire, when was the last maintenance and repairing of this particular bus done. We have already mailed certain questions to Air India for them to respond, but we have got a templated response from Air India. They are continuously stating us that they will release a statement in some time. We are waiting for Air India to release a statement because this particular bus was used by Air India, and therefore the ground handling staff and everyone who was involved in the ground handling, servicing and managing these buses are recruited by Air India itself. Right. The third party only has provided the bus. The rest, everything is up to Air India to monitor and audit. So we are waiting for Air India response soon to come. Rakshita, back to you.
Many thanks joining us with those details coming in on that story. Harsha will keep a close eye on the updates. Now we will shift our focus to how US and India are joining hands in the Indian Ocean, a powerful show of naval partnership to boost maritime security and strategic interoperability. Here's a quick report.
In the heart of the Indian Ocean, US and Indian maritime patrol aircrafts, the P-8A Poseidon and P-8I Neptune, took to the skies for a week-long joint training near Diego Garcia. The combined detachment, conducted from October 22nd to 28th, focused on sharpening anti-submarine warfare tactics and boosting maritime domain awareness, key to countering underwater threats in the Indo-Pacific. The mission follows joint drills like Tiger Triumph 2025, reinforcing the growing interoperability between two naval powers. Crews from both nations worked together on operational planning, intelligence sharing and coordinated sea surveillance. With US 7th Fleet and the Indian Navy working in tandem, the exercise reaffirms both nations' shared commitment to ensuring peace, stability and freedom across the Indo-Pacific seas.
And viewers, Pakistan Markazi Jamaat Ahle Hadith General Secretary Ibtisam Elahi Zahir is in Bangladesh. He visited Rajshahi and Chapain Nawabganj in last 2 days. He will visit different places of Rangpur division now in the coming 3 to 4 days. That's a big security alarm for India, viewers. Pakistan's radical preacher also spotted there in Bangladesh. Hafiz Saeed Zaid Elahi Zahir spotted in Bangladesh, and you can see that on your screens, the pictures. Saeed's aid in Bangladesh's Rajshahi, close to the border. Saeed's aid camping close to the border with India, and that's in Rajshahi and Chapai Nawabganj and Rangpur division. And this, of course, this visit coincides with the visit of Pak Joint Chief of Staff, top Pakistani General, camping near Siliguri corridor today. So provocation after provocation from Pak and Bangladesh, the enemies converging in Bangladesh, and it's happening very, very close to the border, viewers. In fact, Bangladesh's interim government led by Muhammad Yunus is also preparing to roll out the red carpet for controversial Islamic preacher and wanted Indian fugitive Zakir Naik as well. In fact, the Yunus-led administration has approved a month-long nationwide tour for Naik, marking his first ever visit to Bangladesh. And according to event organizers, the tour, scheduled from 28th of November to 28th of December this year, has been officially approved by the government and is being facilitated by officials. So this is a disturbing convergence of India's enemies that's unfolding. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Zakir Naik, they're forming a nexus against India. A top Pakistani general rushed to Bangladesh, sparking concerns about regional security. Zakir Naik's visit, the controversial Islamic preacher wanted in India for money laundering and hate speech. He prepares to spend a month in Bangladesh. His tour, as we told you, starts from end of November, has raised alarms in New Delhi, of course. And these are pictures. We can show more pictures. We can show pictures of the Pakistani top general also, as he was with Yunus. Kishor joins us live on the broadcast for more. Kishor, well, this is an alarming situation. We have seen how Pakistan, Pakistan, be it the state, be it the Pakistani army, and even the terror. We all know, of course, the unholy alliance of Pak army and the terrorists, and they're all camping now near the border, right from Hafiz Saeed's aide to the Pakistan's top general. And we all saw that so-called piece of art that was gifted by Yunus. That was, of course, an attack on India's sovereignty. The way it was presented, that figure that was drawn in.
Well, exactly, and it's an alarming situation because all these visits are back-to-back, coinciding with the fact that all of these anti-India persons are visiting very close areas to the international border with India. The Pakistani army general who came to Bangladesh, who visited Bangladesh, was gifted a portrait of Bangladesh which included the northeastern parts of India. This is an attack on sovereignty of India, as you rightly pointed out. But that general also visited an area very close to the Chicken's Neck. On the other hand, Hafiz Saeed's close aide, I'll point out the name because it's a big name, but he's a terrorist, of course. His name is Ilahi Zahir, Ibtisam Ilahi Zahir. He is visiting Bangladesh as well. He is very close to Hafiz Saeed, one of the masterminds of the Mumbai attack and several other attacks in India. He is visiting Bangladesh, he is visiting Chaupai Nawabganj, he is visiting other areas in Bangladesh, in northeastern part of Bangladesh. And what he is doing, he is holding small conferences in order to give out this anti-Indian narrative and in order to give out the Pakistani narrative about all of the controversial ideas of Hafiz Saeed. He is bringing them to Bangladesh and broadcasting those. On the other hand, we have also pointed out how Zakir Naik, anti-Indian fugitive Zakir Naik, who is in the most wanted list of India, he is also scheduled to visit Bangladesh soon. So Bangladesh is becoming a hub of anti-Indian activities. But what is alarming is all of these people are coming very close to the border, doing their conferences, talks and whatever they are doing. And this is also being watched by the Indian intelligence agencies very closely.
Right. Absolutely. And, we've seen, earlier as well, Kishor, we saw that how Yunus had, pointed towards the Chicken's Neck. He had once made this statement, and which had already alarmed New Delhi when he said that, that Bangladesh is the guardian of the Chicken Neck. It's the only guardian of the ocean, he had said. And that was also, in a way, a provocation.
Well, he pointed out, he was in China. Let me remind our viewers, He was in China. He pointed out that the northeastern part of India has no connection with the oceans, and it is Bangladesh which is the guardian of this region, which was a very provocative statement. The foreign ministry had come out with strong words against these statements. Afterwards, we see again the same thing is being repeated in Bangladesh, where a portrait is being gifted to a Pakistani general, where parts of northeastern India is within that portrait of so-called Bangladeshi map. On the other hand, we see terrorists are having their heyday in Bangladesh. They are roaming around in areas close to the Indian border. And they are going to areas like Chopai Nawabganj, Munshiganj and other areas. I have a whole list of name of these areas. He was in Chopai Nawabganj for 2 days. He was in Rajshahi and other areas. I'm talking about Ibtisam Ilahi Zahir, a very close aide to Hafiz Saeed, the international terrorist who was one of the top minds behind the Mumbai attacks. Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists. Now we know, as you rightly pointed out, there is a clear nexus between Pakistani army and Pakistani terrorist groups. Now those Pakistani army generals and the terrorists are coming simultaneously to Bangladesh to make visits and make anti-India propaganda throughout the country, length and breadth, visiting areas close to the border, also visiting areas close to the chicken snake, where Yunus had, we just pointed out how Yunus made a statement about that particular area. On the other hand, a portrait is being gifted which directly attacks the sovereignty of India. The question is, what is the consequences of these activities? We are keeping a close watch.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kishor, for giving us a perspective and giving us more details coming in on that story. Now, we were shifting our focus to other stories from across the country. This is Bharat in a minute.
Bharat 1 Minute, brought to you by Canara Bank. Together, we can.
Kakinada city in Andhra Pradesh received rainfall and winds this morning as an impact of Cyclone Monta. Weather authorities have warned of rough sea conditions along the Andhra coast from Nellore to Srikakulam with waves likely to rise between 2 and 4.7 meters. Most parts of coastal Andhra Pradesh to receive light to moderate rainfall. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today extended warm greetings to people across the country on auspicious conclusion of the 4-day-long Chhath Puja, praying for the well-being and prosperity of all devotees. Home Minister Amit Shah expressed happiness over the surrender of 21 Maoists along with their arms in Kanker of Chhattisgarh. He commended them for joining the mainstream abjuring violence at the call of the Modi government. And India has issued a NOTAM, that is the notice to airmen, over the Bay of Bengal now for an 11-day period, indicating the conduct of major aerial or missile-related exercises in the region. A NOTAM, which alerts pilots and aviation authorities to restricted airspace, comes amid multiple ongoing aerial drills in and around the Indian Ocean, signalling heightened operational activity by the Indian Armed Forces. Such extended NOTAMs are often linked to missile tests or large-scale defense exercises as part of India's regular strategic and training operations. Ishan joins us live on the broadcast for more. Ishan, tell us more details about this NOTAM, about this exercise that could be happening very, very soon in Bay of Bengal.
A fresh NOTAM has been issued by the Indian authorities in the Bay of Bengal near Abdul Kalam Island. This NOTAM extends up to a 250-kilometer range from forming a polygonal shape in this area. The NOTAM is starting from 3rd of November at 10 a.m. and is going up to 14th of November at 16:30 hours. So a total of 11 days and 6 hours the notice has been issued. The area and its significance is that a lot of the missile testing, a lot of weapons testing have taken place in this area in the past, and the dates of the NOTAM is currently coinciding with the upcoming COPE 2025 exercises that is also stated to take place in West Bengal. However, the official text of the NOTAM does not state which particular exercise or missile test or any other military activity it is related to. The NOTAM issued is not only restricted for the airspace but is also restricting civilian shipping vessels in this particular area.
All right. That, of course, is a very, very important update. In Ishan, we've seen that from Trishul, on the northwestern border, especially the western border, this is on Rajasthan and Gujarat border. Pakistan already, of course, is rattled by that. India's operational readiness is in full swing, isn't it? Because from the western frontier to the eastern frontier, India is trying to be ready for any kind of conflict. India and the military leadership has time and again reiterated, and we can see with such exercises that India is ready for any kind of situation.
Absolutely. The recently concluded exercises of the Army, Air Force and Navy in the Rajasthan sector, the currently ongoing exercise of Trishul that is spans 1,000 kilometers from Rajasthan to Gujarat into the Arabian Ocean, spanning all three services wherein Army, Air Force and Navy in coordination are performing multiple exercises in this region, including amphibious operation and shallow water craft operations in the region, and the upcoming exercise with the United States, Australia and Japan in Guam. India is particularly participating in a lot of current exercises, and we can see that India's state of operational readiness is at its peak, and it can be seen that the current issue of this NOTAM also indicates a large-scale exercise in the Bay of Bengal area.
Right. Thank you so much, Ishan, for joining us with those details coming in on that story. Now, we are now shifting our focus to what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, Jammu and Kashmir police has registered first FIR for alleged religious conversion. FIR registered by Katwa police against Christian missionaries in Rajbagh police station. Locals allege they were offered money, food for converting to Christianity from Hinduism. Here's the report.
Faith under attack in Kathua. Kindness turns into coercion and deceit. Miracles promised, faith tested, gods abandoned. Villagers lured with food, money and false hope. First ever religious conversion FIR has been filed in Jammu and Kashmir. Shockwaves ripple through the devout Sanatani heartland. Faith challenged, belief shaken, tempers are now flaring. Jakhol becomes the epicenter of forced faith. The complaints began pouring in from locals who claim missionaries were promising healing and financial help, but only if people renounced Hinduism.
See, right now we are in the Jakhol village, from where the villagers have written to the Jammu and Kashmir police with regards to the religious conversion that is taking place and the attempts being made by the Christian missionaries. These are the words that are part of the complaint, and that's why we are telling you that it has been mentioned. FIR has been registered in the Rajbagh police station, and right now we are at that very village only. See, the villagers have gathered here. These are the same villagers who have given their complaint to the police, based on which the FIR has been registered. These Hindus, they are agitated because what was being done, they were told by the Christian missionaries that they should throw out these idols and the photographs of their lords that is inside their house.
Among them, Swan Singh, a handicapped man who has been suffering from a spinal injury for over a decade, claims he too was targeted.
आपकी रीढ़ की हड्डी जो ठीक हो जाएगा चल पड़ोगे आप। तब मैंने उनको यही बोला कि डॉक्टर ने मेरे को बोला कि आप ठीक नहीं हो सकते हो, तो आप कैसे करोगे मेरे को ठीक। मैंने बोला आप इतने मेरे को ठीक करने वाले, तो आप हॉस्पिटल में इतने लोग बीमार हैं, जाओ ठीक करो उनको, क्यों बनाया इतने हॉस्पिटल हैं। तो उन्होंने बोला आपने उनसे क्या लेना देना, आप अपने आप देखो, आप ऐसे करो, हम आपको ठीक कर देंगे। आपको जो तस्वीरें घर में रखी हैं भगवान की, इनके ऊपर नकतू टीका मत, कोई पूजा पाजा मत करना। मैं बोला क्यों, बोला ऐसे ही फिर आप ठीक नहीं हो गए। तो तो मंदिरों में मत जाना, उधर प्रसाद मत खाना। फिर हम आपको क्या करेंगे, बाद में आपको नया जीवन देंगे, आपको कोई कपड़ा भी उतार देंगे, आपको नहलाएंगे, पता नहीं क्या क्या करेंगे, ऐसे कुछ बोलते थे वो।
Locals say that the missionaries repeatedly visited homes, pressurizing villagers to abandon their faith, even asking them to throw away DT photos.
अज्ञात लोग जो थे वो उनको ना जानते हुए आए थे, उनको उनके घरों में जाके वो ज़बरदस्ती उनको लोगों को कह रहे थे हमारे यहाँ कोई गुरु आए हैं, पता नहीं कौन आए हैं, तो आप लोग जो बीमार हैं हमारे साथ चलो उधर। और जो अपने घरों में आपने ये तस्वीरें लगाई हैं, फ़ोटो भगवान शिव जी के फ़ोटो लगाए हैं, माता रानी के लगाए हैं, इनको उखाड़ के उस नदी में फेंक दो, तो आप सभी लोग इकट्ठे हो जाओ, तो हम आपको कोई बीमारी नहीं है। उसकी मदर जो बीमार थी उन्होंने बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाएंगी। तो उन्होंने जब भगवान का नाम लिया कि इनको आप फेंक दो, तो उसको थोड़ा ऐसे लगा कि ये ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है, हमारे भगवान को ऐसे। उन्होंने मुझे कॉल किया कि ऐसे ऐसे लोग जहाँ आए हैं तो ऐसे ऐसे बोल रहे हैं, लोगों को इकट्ठा करके ज़बरदस्ती उधर इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं।
An FIR has been filed at the Rajbagh police station after locals complained of being offered money and food for conversion.
जो एरिया आपको पता ही है, आज थोड़े दिनों पहले जो पाकिस्तान से लोग आए थे, यही है सफ़ैन एरिया पर, जो थाना और जखोल एरिया में पड़ता है, जहाँ 4-5 बार पहले भी यहाँ इनकाउंटर हो चुके हैं। और ये बड़े ये एक सेंसिटिव जोन है, वो उनका जहाँ पे आना और एक धर्म परिवर्तन की बात करना, हमारे जो बोले वाले लोग हैं वो उन पता नहीं ये प्री प्लानिंग के साथ, जो हमारे गुरुदेव रविदास जी का परिवार है, जो माता मल जी का परिवार है, अपना बिलनी माता का, और जो हमारे नाबादास जी का परिवार है, मैक्सिमम उन परिवारों को ये लोग टारगेट कर रहे हैं।
Locals are now demanding strict action, saying that the missionaries' attempts could have larger and more sinister motives.
जो हमारा इलाका है, हमारे इधर के गरीब लोग हैं और ये बाहर से दुनिया आकर हमारे लोगों को गुमराह कर रही है। कोई पैसे का लालच देता है, कोई बोलता है तेरे को अगर कोई ऐसी बीमारी है हम ठीक कर देंगे, तेरे को डॉक्टर के पास जाने की लोड़ नहीं है, हम तेरे को घर में ही ठीक कर देंगे। जैसे हमारे वो लड़का एक हैंडीकैप है, उसकी रीढ़ की हड्डी फ्रैक्चर है, उसको उसके घर में भी 3-4 बार गए, वो तो बेचारा वैसे ही घबरा गया। 1-2 दिन पहले उसने बोला ये कौन आ गए हैं ज़बरदस्त, उनका घर भी थोड़ा साइड में है, तो वो तो घबरा गया भी कौन बंदे हैं।
The region has a history of security operations and locals fear such attempts could be masking deeper infiltration attempts under the guise of religious activities.
बहुत दिन पहले से ये काम चल रहा है। ये मशीनरीज कुछ दिन पहले भी आती रही जाती रही, यहाँ पे गरीब लोगों को अपने जान से में लेती रही है। अब जब काम हद से ज़्यादा निकल गया तो कुछ लोगों ने आवाज़ उठाई कि साहब हमें तो यहाँ पर जबरन बोला जा रहा है कि आपको पैसे देंगे, आपका घर बनवाएंगे, आप हमारे अपने जो देवी देवता हैं उनको जल प्रवाह कर दीजिए और हमारे धर्म को मानिए, हमारे गुरु को मानिए और आप ठीक भी हो जाएंगे।
Religious conversion attempts, alleged pressure and promises of miracle healings. The Kathua case has now opened up a new storm.
And for a short break, but on the other side we get you the inside story on Tata Trust. Insiders say majority votes against continuation of Mehli Mistry in Tata Trust, a massive development which could lead to disaster.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा। सबका राजा आरती और मसाला।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation.
Republic gets the inside story on Tata Trust. Insiders say majority votes against continuation of Melli mystery in Tata Trust, a massive development which could lead to the ouster of Melli mystery. Republic forced to correct misreporting on Tata Trust's misreporting by Pink Media corrected by Republic Business as we get the Tata Trust story spot on. India's enemies converge in Bangladesh closer to the border with India. Radical preacher and Hafiz Saeed's aide from Pakistan, Ilahi Zahir, seen camping in Bangladesh border districts to spread hate against India. Top Pakistani General and Chief of the Joint Staff Shamshad Mirza, still camping in Bangladesh, will be visiting the Siliguri corridor close to Chicken's Neck. India issues NOTAM for exercises in Bay of Bengal for a duration of 11 days. Notice to all airmen coincides with multiple aerial exercises that are underway in the region. Air India bus catches fire at Terminal 3 in Delhi. All passengers reported to be safe. Pakistan and Afghanistan talks collapse. Inside details on Republic as Afghan government sources say Pakistan spoke disrespectfully and refused to stop US drone strikes from its soil. Karnataka government order restricting activities of the RSS stayed by Karnataka High Court. Order asked RSS to seek government permission before any gathering. The Election Commission has now issued a notice to Prashant Kishor following reports that he is presently registered as a voter in Bihar as well as West Bengal. This comes after reports essentially emerging that Prashant Kishor holds two voter ID cards. In fact, sources close to Prashant Kishor indicating that there is an application for cancellation that has already been moved by Prashant Kishor. A notice has now been issued by the Election Commission to Prashant Kishor regarding dual voter IDs. On your screens right now, these are images that we have got of the voter ID card. In fact, we'll just quickly take you through the details. We have just got a short while back indicating the presence of two voter ID cards, following which this notice has been issued by the Election Commission. In fact, this is what we know. One is in Bengal and the other one is registered in Bihar. In Bengal, his voter ID card is registered at 121 Kalighat Road, where Trinamool Congress office in Bhawanipur is located. His polling station is being registered as St. Helens School, B. Rani Shankari Lane. In Bihar, he is registered as a voter under the Sasaram parliamentary constituency, and his polling station is Madhya Vidyalaya Kunar in Rohtas district. Now, these are the two IDs that Prashant Kishor essentially holds, following which now this particular call has now been made. In fact, this is a notice that has been issued. Let me go across to my colleague Prakash, who's joining us on this broadcast. Prakash, sources close to Prashant Kishor indicating that he's already moved an application for the cancellation of one of the voter ID cards?
Well, when the thief was caught, and then only he moved to the Election Commission for the cancellation of the voter ID card in Kolkata, in fact. And when he got to know about this movement of the papers which I have in my hand, and it was only on 25th of October this month, 3 days back, in fact 2 days back, that he moved to the Election Commission to file an application for the cancellation of the voter ID card in Bengal, which was registered at the address of 121 Kali Ghat, which falls under the Bhawanipur Assembly constituency, and apparently it is the TMC office there. Earlier it used to be Abhishek Banerjee's residence. Now, technically it cannot be cancelled right now because since yesterday midnight, as part of the SIR, which is going to happen across the country, the entire voter list has been freezed now. So technically he has 2 voter ID cards as of now. So since the voter ID cards were registered in 2019 itself, when Prashant Kishor was working there as an IPAC consultant, and one fails to understand that as to how.
Prakash, we can hear you. You can go on. I believe that he's been asked to submit his response within the next 3 days.
And since Prashant Kishor is an original resident of Bihar, that falls in Sasaram district in Konar. But as a matter of fact, how can a person who is an original resident of Bihar be a voter in Bengal when he's as a matter of fact, he was a non-permanent resident there. He used to live in Delhi, fly back from Delhi to Bengal for consultancy work. He got his name registered there. The CPM then, we believe, had opposed this voter ID card, and thereafter also for the next 5 years, he's continuing his voter ID card, and he's got his name registered in his native place in Konar in Sasaram district of Bihar as well. Now, earlier, the Election Commission found out that one person were having 2 different ID cards at 2 different places in the state of Bihar as a part of the SIR. One in the native place where the village is, and second, suppose somebody is living in Patna, they are having their voter ID card. But this is a unique case of a same person having 2 different voter ID cards in 2 different states. It's like someone, Bangladesh is having their Aadhaar card in Bengal, and that was the main problem was. So Prashant Kishor case is like a Bangladeshi having his voter ID card in Bengal. So I don't know under what rules and regulations and purview this comes under. The Election Commission would certainly seek an explanation from him as to how did you have your voter ID card in Bengal, despite the fact that you are not a resident here. And since last 3 years or so, he's been working in Bihar. He has his voter ID card there. Why did not he get those voter ID card omitted from Bengal then? Why did he make a move on this 2 days back itself, on 25th? So only when he came to know about this move, that a certain story is going to be carried and people are inquiring about his voter ID card.
Just a quick clarification, Prakash. You are saying that it was just as recent as 24th of this month is when the move was made by Prashant Kishor to file an application for cancellation, when he was aware that this could basically go out?
Yes, 25th of October, only on this 25th of October, he made a move for cancellation of the voter ID card in Bengal. That was 48 hours ago, in fact. And only when he came to know about this story being carried out, and then he made a move. So he definitely came to know that his wrongdoing has been caught. And then he made a move. Now it's up to the Election Commission to take action. What kind of action would be taken? We would certainly get back to the Election Commission under what rules and regulations action can be taken, because as a matter of fact, it cannot be deleted also, because the entire voter list of all over the country has been freezed, because SIR has to be taken place all across the country.
Thank you very much, Prakash, for getting us the latest details. We're waiting for a response to come in from the Election Commission. As we understand, a notice has now been issued. 3 days' time has been given to Prashant Kishor to respond to that notice.
My information, which I can share with you, for the record, if 3 people vote against the continuation of one person, whether that be Mehli Mistry or anyone else as member of the Tata Trust, that makes the person's position unviable. And therefore, we are looking at a situation where there could be a dramatic development in this Tata Trust issue, where Mehli Mistry, who was seen to be leading a revolt against Noel Tata, might himself be in a position where he could be ousted from the Tata Trust itself. Now, this is a very significant development. I do not know what the other business channels are reporting. I think they've got it completely wrong as usual. People can say that what we are putting out is speculative as well, but I can assure you it's not, because we have the highest of sources.
The Tata Trusts are facing a crucial decision regarding who exactly would basically take full control of the trust. In fact, as it was pointed out, that there was a revolt that was largely being driven by Mehli Mistry, and majority votes are now against Mehli Mistry. Informed sources basically indicate that 3 votes have gone against Mehli Mistry, which essentially would indicate that he would be ousted. There could be an ouster of Mehli Mistry if at all this goes as it has been reported right now. In fact, more details by our editor-in-chief, Arnab Goswami.
There was a report, I'm not sure which agency it was, whether it was PTI or any other agency, which put out the report that Mehli Mistry is likely on the verge of being a trustee for life for the Tata Trust. But I have information that that is not the case. In fact, my information is to the contrary. My information, which I can share with you, is that as many as 3 people may have voted against the continuation of Mehli Mistry in the Tata Trust. I'm not in a position to disclose who. I'm also aware that some people may have voted for. But for the record, if 3 people vote against the continuation of one person, whether that be Mehli Mistry or anyone else as member of the Tata Trust, that makes the person's position unviable. And therefore, we are looking at a situation where there could be a dramatic development in this Tata Trust issue, Tata company issue, where Mehli Mistry, who was seen to be leading a revolt against Noel Tata, might himself be in a position where he could be ousted from the Tata Trust itself. Now, this is a very significant development. I do not know what the other business channels are reporting. I think they've got it completely wrong as usual. But my information is that Mehli Mistry, we had the news that corporate legend and others, several others have been continuing. So 4 days back, there was news that Venu Srinivasan would continue as a life member of the Tata Trust. But on Mehli Mistry's position, I am of the view that if 3 people have voted against him continuing, then Mehli Mistry will find it very difficult to continue on the Tata Trust. This would create a situation which would give Noel Tata complete control of Tata Trust and complete and unambiguous control over this the whole Tata empire. Now, if that were to be the case, if this is the case, then this is probably the final chapter in the ongoing Tata Trust, Tata Sons issue. And this whole power struggle which was attempted. People called it a coup, would have come to an end. I'm sure the business chamber channels will scramble to get the right information later in the day, but I'm fairly confident right now that the way things are looking, that Mehli Mistry may not be in the Tata Trust anymore. Of course, there is no official press release on this, I would like to clarify. But there has been no denial either. If there is a denial from Mehli Mistry or anyone close to him, we would be happy to carry it. But as of now, there is nothing to deny it. So the headline would be that, Noel Tata would get complete charge of the Tata empire, that Mehli Mistry, who had led a revolt against him, would be out. The majority of trustees have voted for Noel Tata's side and against Mehli Mistry's continuing. And I think that having been said, the matter is resolved once and for all. See, all of this is happening before the talk about IPO. Now, as far as who else there will be, naturally, Pranav, if Mehli Mistry were to move out, let's make one point clear. As far as the rules are concerned, you probably know better. But my information is even if one member votes against a Mehli Mistry, he cannot continue. I think there is a need for near unanimity on this issue. So that settles the Mehli Mistry issue. This agency copies that have been doing the rounds, I don't know who's been quoted. It's all been fairly speculative. People can say that what we are putting out is speculative as well, but I can assure you it's not, because we have the highest of sources. So my view is that if 3 people are voting against Mehli Mistry, that's a number of people would be 3. And then you would have to obviously estimate how many people would be on the other side. If there is a 3-3 situation, then I think the present situation will allow the Noel Tata group to bring in one more person. Whether they choose to do this now or later, one can only sort of guess. I don't want to second guess that. But you know, Pranav, that the whole story has been about Mehli Mistry. There was this wrong view given he was representing the Shapurji Palonji group, which he was not. The Shapurji Palonji group has excellent relations with Noel Tata, so that was also misreporting. In fact, this whole Tata Sons reporting has been an absolute and acute embarrassment for the so-called pink media, which has been reporting everything wrong. But I think we would like to know, I think the onus is now on Mehli Mistry to break the news about whether he stays or goes. But I think this whole story doing the rounds that there's a minority supporting Noel Tata is wrong. That's not the case anymore. Absolutely safe to estimate that the Tatas represented by Noel Tata are comfortably and totally back, and they've always been in the saddle. But with Mehli Mistry, if he were to go, if he were to leave, then complete and unambiguous control. My information, which I can share with you, for the record, if 3 people vote against the continuation of one person, whether that be Mehli Mistry or anyone else as member of the Tata Trust, that makes the person's position unviable. And therefore, we are looking at a situation where there could be a dramatic development in this Tata Trust issue, where Mehli Mistry, who was seen to be leading a revolt against Noel Tata, might himself be in a position where he could be ousted from the Tata Trust itself. Now, this is a very significant development. I do not know what the other business channels are reporting. I think they've got it completely wrong as usual. People can say that what we are putting out is speculative as well, but I can assure you it's not, because we have the highest of sources.
Well, a dramatic twist has emerged in the Delhi acid attack case, with the CCTV footage revealing that the main accused, Yatindra, was not at the crime scene at the time of the incident. The police investigation has taken a shocking turn, with the victim's father now suspected of orchestrating the fake attack. Here's a quick report.
A shocking twist has emerged in the Delhi acid attack case, with CCTV footage revealing the main accused, Yatindra, was actually in Karol Bagh at the time of the incident, not at the crime scene. The police had been investigating the case, and Yatindra's alibi checked out, showing he was miles away from the scene involved in a legitimate painting contract. Further investigation revealed the victim's father, Akil Khan, had a history of disputes with Yatindra's family, including a 2018 acid attack case against him. Khan has confessed to orchestrating the fake acid attack to frame Yatindra, whose wife had accused him of rape and blackmail.
One new case comes up where Yatindra's wife comes forward with a complaint that the accused father, namely Akil, is the one who used to rape her. Now, this was a fresh development, but later when we corroborated the dates, this acid attack incident is of 26th of October and the complaint that was filed, that is of 24th of October. So before this incident actually happened, Yatindra's wife, that is one of the main accused wife in this matter, complained that the victim's father, Akil, has been trying to forcibly establish sexual relations with her, and he's trying to force her into physical relations, and that is when she complained about it. This was a new development. And later, when the investigation proceeds, it was corroborated. The location of the Yatindra would also not come to the same location where the acid attack happened.
The police have arrested Khan and are investigating the matter, suspecting the victim may have staged the attack using toilet cleaner.
India issues no time for exercises in Bay of Bengal for a duration of 11 days. Notice to all airmen coincides with multiple aerial exercises that are underway in the region. Air India bus catches fire at Terminal 3 in Delhi. All passengers reported to be safe.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous losses involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an F-18F Super Hornet. Both aircraft operate with highly integrated avionics that depend on accurate satellite navigation, data link connectivity to the carrier, and redundant onboard sensors during launch, recovery, and maritime patrol. In the South China Sea, China has systematically layered electronic warfare systems across its man-made islands and outposts to shape the electromagnetic environment and gain asymmetric advantages short of kinetic conflict. China's deployed network combines long-range surveillance radars, shore-based jamming arrays, vehicle-mounted and portable emitters, and frequency-agile signal management nodes. These systems are configured to detect, geolocate, and interfere with a wide band of signals, including GPS, tactical data links, maritime communications, and airborne sensor feeds. The overlapping coverage
Parking in Dharavi, it's a tough ask. Don't talk about cars, they have to be parked at some remote location. Scooters, well, they line the streets, blocking shops and doorways. Neighbors, they often are found fighting with each other for inches of spaces. Talking about ambulances, it's hard for them to enter the space because most of the times they get stuck. Well, as an MSME center, a lot of small-scale businesses, they run here and they require raw materials to be delivered. The delivery trucks, well, they cannot enter these narrow lanes. Now, the only option is laborers, resulting higher cost. Hence, the parking has become a major issue in this area.
मेरा नाम शहाबुद्दीन शेख है। ये गली इतनी कंजेस्टेड है ना कि अंदर कोई भी मटेरियल जाने के लिए बहुत दिक्कत है। अभी आप पार्किंग को देख सकते हैं कितना कंजेस्टेड एरिया है। जाता तो बहुत फायदा होगा, सारा बिजनेस को फायदा होगा, लेकिन ऐसा लगता नहीं कि गाड़ी अंदर जा सकता है यहाँ पे।
There is a no parking board clearly mentioned over here. Still, you can see behind me lots of cars being parked in the middle of the road, resulting in traffic jams and also police challans.
मेरा नाम कृष्णमूर्ति है, उर्फ कन्ना। तो ये 4 व्हीलर का तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। 4 व्हीलर तो अंदर आ नहीं सकता है, बाहर खड़ा करने से लोग स्क्रैच कर देते हैं और चालान कटता है अभी इसका आरटीओ का। और इसके लिए जब तक रास्ता खुलेगा नहीं, डेवलपमेंट होएगा नहीं, तब तक कुछ होएगा नहीं इधर।
For families who dream of buying a scooter for themselves, it's easy. But finding a parking space and also a safer space, it's a bigger task. So we can conclude that becoming a scooter owner is really easy here, but finding a place to park, that's a big task.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
राजा और प्योर मसाला।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation. The exercise will run from October 30 to November 10. Under the umbrella of Exercise Trishul, India's armed forces are set to conduct joint operations across diverse terrains, from offensive maneuvers in the Sir Creek and desert sectors to amphibious drills off the Saurashtra coast and multi-domain exercises involving cyber, electromagnetic and unmanned systems. The Army...
This is Republic Jack Oliver's studio. Stay tuned for all the breaking news and updates. I am Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous losses involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an F-18F Super Hornet. Both aircraft operate with highly integrated avionics that depend on accurate satellite navigation, data link connectivity to the carrier, and redundant onboard sensors during launch, recovery, and maritime patrol.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Welcome back, friends. It's building up to the manifesto announcement of Mahagathbandhan in Bihar, and in fact, as we focus on Bihar, Election Commission has in fact issued a notice to Prashant Kishor for having 2 voter ID cards, one each in Bihar and Bengal, where he was resident for a while consulting with the Mamata Banerjee government. That's our focus. Let's begin with the headlines. Republic gets the inside story on Tata Trust's majority votes against continuation of Mehli Mistry in the trust. A massive development which could lead to his ouster. Republic forced to correct Republic forces others to correct misreporting on Tata Trusts, particularly those that by the pink media, corrected after Republic Business gets the Tata Trust story spot on. India's enemies converge in Bangladesh close to the border with India. Radical preacher and Hafiz Saeed from Pakistan, Elahi Zahir, seen camping in Bangladesh border districts to spread hate against our country. Top Pakistani General and Chief of Joint Staff Shamshad Mirza, still camping in Bangladesh, will be visiting the border close to Siliguri corridor or the Chicken's Neck. India issued no time for exercises in Bay of Bengal for a duration of 11 days beginning November 2. Notice to all airmen coincides with multiple aerial exercises that are underway in the region. Air India bus catches fire at Terminal 3 in Delhi. All passengers reported to be safe. Pakistan and Afghanistan talks collapse. Inside details on Republic as Afghan government sources say Pakistan spoke disrespectfully and refused to stop US drone strikes from its soil. Karnataka government order restricting activities of RSS stayed by the Karnataka High Court. Order asks RSS to seek government permission before any gathering. All right, friends, for several years now, Republic has been exposing the Pakistan ISI-backed fake news campaign against our country. Today, we expose yet again Pakistan's latest weapon, a full-blown AI-driven disinformation campaign targeting the Indian Army and Republic Media Network. Last week, as the Republic Network hosted the force's first conclave, Pakistan's ISI launched a coordinated fake news offensive, pushing AI-generated videos of Deputy Chief of Army Staff Strategy and the acting DGMO, Lieutenant General Rajiv Ghai, through bot networks and fake handles. These videos, fabricated and algorithmically amplified from Pakistan, attempt to distort facts and discredit India's military leadership. Republic's investigation has traced and exposed this campaign from bot farms in Lahore to coordinated hashtags in Rawalpindi, all aimed at undermining India's institutions. The timing is no accident. Just as India asserts its military might along its borders through strategic drills, Pakistan seeks to upset the apple cart through deceit and fakery. But Republic stands firm. We have caught the fakes, tracked the bots, and called out the lies and pattern over the years. Because this is not just propaganda, it's hybrid warfare. And in this battle of truth versus fakery, Republic will always stand with the facts and with forces first.
Now, I don't know how many of you, you've been sitting here for the better part of the day, have had occasion to listen to the Pakistan Army Chief's address today, earlier today I think, at the Pakistan Military Academy at Kakul. And he's yet again spoken about this. And in the tone that he normally does, and he's warned India that there is no space for war when two countries such as India and Pakistan are involved. Now, the very fact that he and the academy in Pakistan repeatedly speak about this aspect suggests to me that we've for once been able to call the bluff, and therefore there is definitely concern on the other side as far as this matter is concerned.
All right, fact check there by the government of India. General Gandhi, those were the comments made during Republic Media Summit, and Pakistan subsequently manipulating. We have Ishan joining us live from New Delhi and Gursimran joining us live from Jammu. To you first, Ishan. What's the response like from the Indian Army and their communication in terms of what the Pakistanis tried to do with General Gandhi's video?
This is a very concerning matter, as Pakistan has repeatedly used AI-based deepfake videos. Even during Operation Sindoor, we had seen the use of video game footage being passed off as real footage of war. And now we are seeing this particular deepfake video wherein the image of Lieutenant General Ghai has been used to create a whole new narrative, trying to sow distrust against the Indian Armed Forces. This particular push from Pakistani side has come at a very crucial time where the large-scale exercises are taking part near the India-Pakistan border of Rajasthan, Gujarat and the Arabian Sea. This tri-services exercise is an unprecedented scale wherein 30,000 personnel have taken part in it, and now we are seeing Pakistan trying to undermine it using hybrid warfare wherein they are pushing deepfake videos of senior military leadership stating that there is a discord amongst the Indian Army and its public. But we stand strong, and the Indian Army has made it very clear that such kind of tactics will not be tolerated, and we can see that this deepfake video is clearly been sabotage attempt by the Pakistani bot farms.
All right, absolutely. And Pakistan's grey zone information warfare there being called out by the government of India. Ishan, stay with us. Gursimran has more on this. Gursimran, on the ground, how are we responding to this? Because the government of India through the PIB fact-checking the video is one thing, but to really counter the narrative that was sought to be pushed by that deepfake altered AI-generated video, I think we also need to respond in kind.
Yes, Abhishek, you have rightly mentioned, and some steps are being taken when it comes to reporting it to the Twitter authorities, and some of the handles that were earlier propagating the agenda and the propaganda, this fake propaganda of Pakistan, they have been withheld in the Indian area, that is the boundaries of India, on the request of government of India. And with regards to these new Twitter handles, what they are trying to do, they are just trying to fabricate the video of General Ghai so that they can give it a realistic color, because they know that what goes on here on Republic is the truth which which is happening, and they want it to be fabricated so that they can actually spread their propaganda. But it is usually like what Pakistan has done in the UN, coming with an edited photograph stating that stone pelting is happening in Kashmir, to the photograph that the Field Marshal of Pakistan, Asim Munir, has gifted to the Prime Ministers, and that was also somewhat taken from the China. So this is what Pakistan is actually known for, and they are doing on ground, because they are trying to actually portray things by the fabricated videos. And when it comes to comment on the reality, their defense minister says that the damage we have done to India can be seen on the social media. So this is their usual response, that they have nothing concrete, and that's why they are completely relying on the fabricated content,
okay,
so that they can defame.
We have more information, in fact, on the same with Rakshita joining us live from the newsroom. Over to you, Rakshita. What can you share on this Pakistani propaganda that's been called out?
Well, these are coordinated fake news. This is a coordinated fake news offensive, as we were detailing this out, and we continue to, clarify. And this battle against disinformation. This is a disinformation battle that has been going on since Operation Sindoor. We've seen what Pakistan has been attempting to do with its social media, handles, with its bots, and this is another such attempt at what Lieutenant General Rajiv Ghai had in fact spoken from Republic TV's platform at the Forces First conclave, was something that caught attention. It was his first response. Remember, that was the time, that was the moment also when Rajiv Ghai had Lieutenant Rajiv Ghai had directly responded to Asim Munir, and that of course is something did not go down well with Pakistan, it seems, and they're resorting to how they could, what they say, upset the apple cart via deceit and via fakery, and this is what they're doing. Misleading videos continue. They've attempted to make such fake videos using different other leaders also. They have made fake videos of Amit Shah. They've made fake videos now using Lieutenant General Ghai's statement as well. And as we speak, Republic TV continues to, quash this propaganda and, say that this is part of hybrid warfare Pakistan. Well, terrorism, of course, that is being peddled digitally also now, and how, because they cannot counter India by even the information warfare, this is what they resort to.
Absolutely, Rakshita, because Pakistan is no match when it comes to the battlefield. They are increasingly using the subterfuge of information warfare, at least to fool their own people, if nothing else. Let's listen in once again to what Lieutenant General Ghai had said at Republic's Forces First conclave, exposing Pakistan's bluff.
He's yet again spoken about this, and in the tone that he normally does, and he's warned India that there is no space for war when two countries such as India and Pakistan are involved. Now, the very fact that he and the academy in Pakistan repeatedly speak about this aspect suggests to me that we've for once been able to call the bluff. And therefore, there is definitely concern on the other side as far as this matter is concerned. He's yet again spoken about this, and in the tone that he normally does, and he's warned India that there is no space for war when two countries such as India and Pakistan are involved. Now, the very fact that he and the academy in Pakistan repeatedly speak about this aspect suggests to me that we've for once been able to call the bluff, and therefore there is definitely concern on the other side as far as this matter is concerned.
All right, moving on for now and to the battleground state of Bihar, where the Election Commission of India has issued a show-cause notice to poll strategist and leader of the Jan Swaraj Party, Prashant Kishor, after finding out evidence that his name appears on electoral rolls in both Bihar and West Bengal. This notice under Section 17 of the Representation of People's Act 1950, under which a person cannot be enrolled as a voter in more than one constituency. The notice warns that violation of this provision may attract penalties under Section 31 of the Act, including up to 1 year imprisonment, a fine, or both. That's what the law reads. Relevant sections of the Representation of People's Act 1950, We have, in fact, a reaction coming in from the BJP's Ajay Alok. Let's listen to him.
पूरा का पूरा रंगा सियार है ये आदमी। बताइए, इतना हंगामा हुआ कि दो वोटर आईडी कार्ड तेजस्वी यादव के, कैसे इनका दो वोटर आईडी कार्ड कैसे, तब भी इसने नहीं बताया कि मेरे 2 वोटर आईडी कार्ड है। जिम्मेदार नागरिक की तरह बताना चाहिए था, एक कैंसिल करवाना चाहिए था ना। खैर, अब तो SIR वहाँ जब होगा तो अपने आप वोटर आईडी कार्ड कैंसिल हो जाएगा कलकत्ता में। लेकिन ये इनके चरित्र को दर्शाता है कि बेसिकली फर्जी आदमी है।
All right, it's interesting that while the entire exercise of the special intensive revision of electoral rolls was going on in Bihar, nobody brought this to the notice. Prashant Kishor himself did not speak about it because the whole idea of SIR, which the opposition was hell-bent on opposing, was that you do not have duplication of voters in the various state lists. You do not have voters who are not legitimate voters and are legal voters, and this was being opposed. Prakash Singh joins us live from Patna, our senior editor. Prakash, how come Prashant Kishor forgot to bring this to the notice of Election Commission when the SIR was going on in Bihar? What's the position like of the Jan Swaraj party?
Well, the Jan Swaraj party has not spoken about it yet, but I fail to understand this, Abhishek, that when Prashant Kishor was not even a resident of West Bengal, then how come he got himself registered as a voter in Bengal, and that to Bhawanipur Assembly constituency in Calcutta? And his resident address is 121 Kalighat, which is apparently the TMC office address. And earlier it was Abhishek Banerjee's residence. Now, as a matter of fact, one can understand the fact that Karahgar, where he's a voter also, it's his native place. Eco hota hai. He's a native of that area, Karahgar. But as far as Bengal is concerned, it's the same case like Bangladeshis getting their Aadhaar card in Bengal. He's not a native of Bengal. Yeah. Why did he get himself registered as a voter in Bengal? He was a non-permanent resident in Bengal because he used to work for IPAC there, and he used to move from Delhi to Bengal. Right. One can understand that he's originally from Bihar, so he can have his one voter I card in his native village in Karahgar. So the Election Commission has sent him a notice pertaining to this and sought an explanation within 3 days. And 1 year of imprisonment is, there's a provision of 1 year of imprisonment in this particular case. We'll wait and watch what kind of action is taken. And Prashant Kishor, when he came to know about this entire episode of duplicacy, double voter I card, then he has sought, he has written a letter to the Election Commission in Bengal to delete his name from the voter list, and that too on the 25th of this month, 36 hours ago. Right. And now that as far as the SIR is being done all over the country, the entire voter list is being freezed. So his name does exist. Now we'll wait and watch what kind of action is taken by the Election Commission.
Right, we have to wait and watch for what kind of action the Election Commission takes. But this development of Prashant Kishor, Jan Swaraj party leader, having 2 voter ID cards actually buttresses the argument that you actually need SIR, special intensive revision across the country, to weed out all such double voter ID cards or the possibility of that. Thank you so much, Prakash, for joining us with details on this story.
My information, which I can share with you, for the record, if 3 people vote against the continuation of one person, whether that be Mehli Mistry or anyone else as member of the Tata Trust, that makes the person's position unviable. And therefore, we are looking at a situation where there could be a dramatic development in this Tata Trust issue, where Mehli Mistry, who was seen to be leading a revolt against Noel Tata, might himself be in a position where he could be ousted from the Tata Trust itself. Now, this is a very significant development. I do not know what the other business channels are reporting. I think they've got it completely wrong as usual. People can say that what we are putting out is speculative as well, but I can assure you it's not, because we have the highest of sources.
All right, on to a big political development, a massive breaking coming in from Pak-occupied Kashmir. Political rumblings there, days after unprecedented protests where we saw the police and the central forces cornered there in Pak-occupied Kashmir by the people and the residents. The parties have lost support, and an ultimatum has been given to sitting Prime Minister to resign by today, end of the day. This is a development coming in from Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, where the PPP and PMLN, the ruling parties at the center, are facing protests and in fact ultimatums. Let's listen to Rana Sanaullah. He's a special assistant to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, on political affairs, what he had to say on this.
ज्वाइंट एक्शन कमेटी को जो है वो ताकतवर करने की इससे क्या ताल्लुक है? वो कोई वजह नहीं बनी। वजह ये बनी है कि ये जो मौजूदा सेटअप है वो अपनी जिम्मेदारियां पूरी नहीं कर सका। उसने जो वैक्यूम पैदा किया उसकी वजह से एक्शन कमेटी और इस किस्म के सारे मसाइल जो है वो पैदा हुए हैं, और लिहाजा इस सेटअप को ख़त्म करने पे इत्तेफाक हुआ है, और आगे जो गवर्नमेंट बनेगी वो लोगों के मसाइल को हल करेगी, वो सर्व करेगी कश्मीर के अवाम को, और उसके बाद जो है वो इलेक्शन जो है वो होंगे, क्रेडिबल होंगे, फ्री होंगे, फेयर होंगे, और जो नुमाइंदे मुंतखब आज़ाद कश्मीर के अवाम करेंगे उनको जो जिनको मैंडेट देंगे वो गवर्नमेंट बनाएंगे। नहीं जो
All right, for more on this, Rakshita joins us live from the newsroom. Rakshita, it is clear that people are not only disenchanted in Pak-occupied Kashmir, but they really want the present ruling dispensation to go. They're issuing ultimatums. It's clear that very soon we are going to see a situation where nobody in the Pakistani establishment has any credibility left with the people of Pak-occupied Kashmir. So much for Pakistan's batting for Kashmir.
Absolutely now. I mean, and there are the parties now that are now scrambling for support. And we've seen that, as you mentioned about the protests, the people are, of course, have been up in arms quite literally against Islamabad, against the Pakistani army. And there were visuals that corroborate that, visuals that in fact show how the people of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir are against Islamabad, are against the Pakistani army as well. And now that has led to this shake-up in the government. Also, of course, there is no legality of such governments because it's an occupied territory. But yes, as we also heard what Rana Sanaullah was saying, he too understands that the party and his leader Anwar is losing ground. Now, what has happened is that the PMLN, Nawaz Sharif's party, and Zardari's PPP have come together, have joined forces to oust Anwarul Haq as well. And he says that his party will not only support no confidence motion, but they will not become part of a new government.
All right, we keep closer track of those developments. In fact, Rakshita, the fact of the matter is that just yesterday we had our Infantry Day, and the day is marked because on 27th of October in 1947, India sent in its forces and prevented great part of Kashmir to go to those Pakistani irregulars backed by the Pakistan army. And we have a situation here where people of Pak-occupied Kashmir are rebelling against the Pakistan army, are rebelling against the local government there, are rebelling even against the political parties imposed from Islamabad, including, of course, PPP and PMLN, which are the ruling parties in Islamabad as of now. How do you see things going from here? I mean, people are out on the streets. They can see the difference in the life standard between their cousins on this side of the line of control and their own situation. I believe the situation is absolutely reaching a state where, as Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said, on its own POK would merge into India.
Absolutely. You know, the message from political leadership of India has been very, very clear on what India's stand is and what the reality is, what the fact of the matter is. That has been very much clear. And Pakistan has been, of course, trying very, very hard to, even not let the media cover what's happening in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir or the other tense areas like Balochistan, like KPK for that matter, or Gilgit-Baltistan. And the same is happening with these protests. We've just, somehow they have calmed down, but the political ramifications of it are inevitable. And what we understand is that there was a meeting that was held, with the senior leaders of the PML and PPP, Sanaullah, Ehsan Iqbal, Qamar Khaira. There was a decision was reached that the government of POK had failed to deliver, making a change in leadership through a no-confidence motion that was inevitable. But we understand that it is actually Islamabad's failure itself, these ruling parties, as you mentioned, that they are trying to cover up, and somewhere we see that even the other leaders are becoming a scapegoat of it, and they're trying too hard. It's just a desperate attempt to somehow stay in power and cling to power in POK.
All right, thank you so much, Rakshita, with those details. In fact, on that note, we slip into a short break. Coming up on the other side, more on what's happening with the Tata Trust's Republic news break by Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami gets confirmed, others follow. And mischief happening under Mohammad Yusuf in Bangladesh. India's national security getting compromised. We take a close look at what's happening down there in Dhaka.
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ, 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation. The exercise will run from October 30 to November 10. Under the umbrella of Exercise Trishul, India's armed forces are set to conduct joint operations across diverse terrains, from offensive maneuvers in the Sir Creek and desert sectors to amphibious drills off the Saurashtra coast and multi-domain exercises involving cyber, electromagnetic and unmanned systems. The army has reportedly deployed more than 20,000 soldiers along with main battle tanks, howitzers, armed helicopters and various missile systems.
This is Republic Jack Oliver's studio. Stay tuned for all the breaking news and updates. I am Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ, 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
ये
ये सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous losses involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an F-18F Super Hornet. Both aircraft operate with highly integrated avionics that depend on accurate satellite navigation, data link connectivity to the carrier, and redundant onboard sensors during launch, recovery, and maritime patrol.
My information, which I can share with you, for the record, if 3 people vote against the continuation of one person, whether that be Mehli Mistry or anyone else as member of the Tata Trust, that makes the person's position unviable. And therefore, we are looking at a situation where there could be a dramatic development in this Tata Trust issue, where Mehli Mistry, who was seen to be leading a revolt against Noel Tata, might himself be in a position where he could be ousted from the Tata Trust itself. Now, this is a very significant development. I do not know what the other business channels are reporting. I think they've got it completely wrong as usual. People can say that what we are putting out is speculative as well, but I can assure you it's not, because we have the highest of sources.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
We get you the exclusive right there. Republic gets the inside story, and we're getting you the details of what really is happening in the Tata controversy. Majority votes against continuation of Mehli Mistry in Tata Trust, a massive development which could lead to his ouster. Republic is forced to correct misreporting on Tata Trust. Misreporting by Pink Media corrected by Republic Business as we get the Tata Trust story spot on. India's enemies converge in Bangladesh close to the border with India. Radical preacher Hafiz Saeed's aid from Pakistan. Ilahi Zahir seen camping in Bangladesh border districts to spread hate against India. Top Pakistani General, Chief of Joint Staff Shamshad Mirza, still camping in Bangladesh, will be visiting the Siliguri corridor close to the Chicken's Neck. India issues NOTAM for exercises in Bay of Bengal for a duration of 11 days. Notice to all airmen coincides with multiple aerial exercises that are underway in the region. Air India bus catches fire at Terminal 3 in Delhi. All passengers reported to be safe. Pakistan and Afghanistan talks collapse. Inside details on Republic as Afghan government sources say Pakistan spoke disrespectfully, refused to stop US drone strikes from its soil. And Karnataka government order restricting activities of RSS stayed by the Karnataka High Court. Order asked RSS to seek government permission before any gathering. Good evening. Welcome to Republic. I'm Rhythm. Our top focus is going to be the IAF has now issued a NOTAM for exercises in the western region of India from the 2nd to the 11th of November.
The flight ceiling is now increased to 40,000 feet. I'm also going to try and go across to my colleague Ishan, who's now joining us. Ishan, give us more details. All right, let me also give you details of this, as the IAF has now issued NOTAM for the west of Bay of Bengal, and this is something that is being done for air exercises in the western region. India has also issued another NOTAM over the Bay of Bengal near the Abdul Kalam Island for an aerial exercise. It remains active from 3rd to 14th November, lasting 11 days and 6.5 hours. India issues this for aerial exercises. And this is the breaking news that's now coming in. From the 3rd of November to the 14th of November, there is going to be tri-services exercises, flexing military might. Let me go across to Ishan, joining us live on the story. Ishan, give us more details.
The tri-services exercise is being conducted in the Gujarat, Rajasthan and Arabian Sea region, wherein we can see the coordination amongst the three forces is its epitome. The details of this exercise is that there are around 30,000 personnel from Indian Army, Navy and Air Force participating. There are multiple amphibious operations being undertaken. It is being conducted near the disputed Sir Creek area. The original NOTAM for this particular exercise was for up to 28,000 feet. Now the same has been extended for a service ceiling of 40,000 feet, showing that the scope and scale of the exercise have somehow been extended and to a higher limit. The exercises are of special importance because they are at the heels of the Commanders Conference of the Indian Navy and Army that had taken place just days before the start of this exercise, and it is coming immediately after exercise Thar Shakti, which was a bilateral exercise between India and France. Now we are seeing that this particular exercise, wherein all assets of the Indian Navy, wherein shallow water crafts, landing platforms and other multiple type of shallow crafts are being deployed in this region, and coastal landing off the coast of Sushastra coast is being practiced by the naval infantry as well as the marine commandos. Now these marine commando drills and naval infantry drills are of specific importance, as whenever there is requirement of taking control of a region, you need boots on the ground, and this particular exercise of landing these men off the coast of the Sushastra coast will definitely be a boost and major concern for Pakistan as well. We are also seeing multiple NOTAMs being issued for upcoming exercises as well. That's the current NOTAM in the West Bengal region, where near Abdul Kalam Island, which has been extended to up to a 250 kilometer range from occurring from 3rd to 14th of November. This 11-day long NOTAM has been issued, wherein we can see that the 250 kilometers of region of the Bay of Bengal has been covered for 11 days. And now this 11-day long NOTAM is a clear indication of a major military exercise or major testing of missile or something of the similar nature.
And this is very critical, like you're telling us, as multiple military exercises are also going to be conducted, Ishan. This is clearly India also showing and flexing its military might. India extends the NOTAM.
Absolutely. The upcoming two major exercises are COPE 2025 of the Indian Air Force. Now this is traditionally a bilateral exercise between India and United States, but this time it is on the invitation of India and welcomed by the United States. Australia will also be participating.
Okay, Ishan, absolutely. Thank you for giving us those details, and it's something we'll continue tracking to get more details. Viewers, the breaking news that's coming in right now. Top sources have now spoken on the bus fire incident that occurred at T3 at the airport, the international airport. The primary cause of fire, it seems, is suspected to be the CNG leakage of electric spark reported to regulators. That's the suspect. Investigation is now underway. We want to tell you that this occurred in a bus It was the Tata Marco Polo 2019 bus. I want to go across to my colleague Harsha, who had earlier broken that story on the bus fire incident at T3. Harsha, give us more details.
So right now, Rhythm, we have got to know that the primary report which has been submitted to the regulators, the vendor, the AI SATS, which provides the bus to the Air India, has clearly stated in the prelim report that either the cause of the incident is the CNG leakage or the electric spark. But how the CNG leakage happened and whether if it spark, the reasons are yet to be known. But Rhythm, it's not a small incident, and therefore it is again and again being stated by Republic as well that this should not be ignored, not be let go, and the authorities who have provided the bus to Air India, and in fact Air India also as the main airline who has taken AI SATS bus should not ignore this entire incident, because if there would have been passengers, or if the Air India plane which was that next to this bus, if it was on, if the fuel switch was on, and if it was in motion, then a big...
Thank God, but it should not be ignored, because if it is a CNG leakage, that means this was the old model of the bus. We have got to know that the model of the bus was Tata Marco Polo 2019. The bus was given to Air India by AI SATS few years back. It is 5 to 6 years back when the supply of this particular bus was given to Air India to be used at T3 terminal, and now most of the buses are electric. But this particular model was old. CNG fittings was there in this bus, and therefore it is being stated that it was a CNG leakage, and the
check of maintenance of this particular bus was not done, which could be the reason behind the CNG leakage, which could have led the reasons to the catching fire in this particular bus, which was stationed at Bay 30.
Know that the prelim report has already been submitted by AI SATS to DGCA, to regulatory body, and that is the reason we have got our hands on the prelim report. But we are expecting that the detailed investigation has already begun, and also the detailed report will be also given to regulatory body in the span of 2 to 3 days. Back to you.
Thank you for giving me those details. It's tragedy averted at the international airport. The Jammu and Kashmir police registered first FIR for alleged religious conversion. FIR has been registered by the Kathua police against Christian missionaries in Rajbagh police station. Locals allege they were offered money, food for converting to Christianity from Hinduism.
Faith under attack in Kathua. Kindness turns into coercion and deceit. Miracles promised, faith tested, gods abandoned. Villagers lured with food, money, and false hope. First ever religious conversion FIR has been filed in Jammu and Kashmir. Shockwaves ripple through the devout Sanatani heartland. Faith challenged, belief shaken, tempers are now flaring. Jakhol becomes the epicenter of forced faith. The complaints began pouring in from locals who claim missionaries were promising healing and financial help, but only if people renounced Hinduism.
See, right now we are in the Jakhol village, from where the villagers have written to the Jammu and Kashmir police with regards to the religious conversion that is taking place and the attempts being made by the Christian missionaries. These are the words that are part of the complaint, and that's why we are telling you that it has been mentioned. FIR has been registered in the Rajbagh police station, and right now we are at that very village only. See, the villagers have gathered here. These are the same villagers who have given their complaint to the police, based on which the FIR has been registered. These Hindus, they are agitated because what was being done, they were told by the Christian missionaries that they should throw out these idols and the photographs of their lords that is inside their house.
Among them, Swan Singh, a handicapped man who has been suffering from a spinal injury for over a decade, claims he too was targeted.
आपकी रीढ़ की हड्डी जो ठीक हो जाएगा, चल पड़ोगे आप। तब मैंने उनको यही बोला कि डॉक्टर ने मेरे को बोला कि आप ठीक नहीं हो सकते हो, तो आप कैसे करोगे मेरे को ठीक। मैंने बोला आप इतने मेरे को ठीक करने वाले, तो आप हॉस्पिटल में इतने लोग बीमार हैं, जाओ ठीक करो उनको। क्यों बनाए इतने हॉस्पिटल हैं? तो उनने बोला आपने उनसे क्या लेना देना, आप अपने आप देखो, आप ऐसे करो, हम आपको ठीक कर देंगे। आपको जो तस्वीरें घर में रखी हैं भगवान की, इनके ऊपर तू टीका मत, कोई पूजा पाजा मत करना। मैं बोला क्यों? बोला ऐसे ही फिर आप ठीक नहीं होगे, तो मंदिरों में मत जाना, उधर प्रसाद मत खाना, फिर हम आपको क्या करेंगे, बाद में आपको नया जीवन देंगे, आपको कोई कपड़ा भी उतार देंगे, आपको नहलाएंगे, पता नहीं क्या क्या करेंगे, ऐसे कुछ बोलते थे वो।
Locals say that the missionaries repeatedly visited homes, pressurizing villagers to abandon their faith, even asking them to throw away DT photos.
अज्ञात लोग जो थे वो उनको ना जानते हुए आए थे, उनको उनके घरों में जाके वो ज़बरदस्ती उनको लोगों को कह रहे थे हमारे यहाँ कोई गुरु आए हैं, पता नहीं कौन आए हैं, तो आप लोग जो बीमार हैं हमारे साथ चलो उधर, और जो अपने घरों में आपने ये तस्वीरें लगाई हैं, फ़ोटो भगवान शिव जी के फ़ोटो लगाए हैं, माता रानी के लगाए हैं, इनको उखाड़ के उस नदी में फेंक दो, तो आप सभी लोग इकट्ठे हो जाओ, तो हम आपको कोई बीमारी नहीं है। उसकी मदर जो बीमार थी उन्होंने बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाएंगी, तो उन्होंने जब भगवान का नाम लिया कि इनको आप फेंक दो, तो उसको थोड़ा ऐसे लगा कि ये ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है हमारे भगवान को ऐसे। उन्होंने मुझे कॉल किया कि ऐसे ऐसे लोग जहाँ आए हैं तो ऐसे ऐसे बोल रहे हैं, लोगों को इकट्ठा करके ज़बरदस्ती उधर इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं।
An FIR has been filed at the Rajbagh police station after locals complained of being offered money and food for conversion.
जो एरिया आपको पता ही है, आज थोड़े दिनों पहले जो पाकिस्तान से लोग आए थे, यही है सफ़ैन एरिया पर, जो थाना और जखोल एरिया में पड़ता है, जहाँ 4-5 बार पहले भी यहाँ इनकाउंटर हो चुके हैं। और ये ये एक सेंसिटिव जोन है, वो उनका जहाँ पे आना और एक धर्म परिवर्तन की बात करना, हमारे जो बोले वाले लोग हैं वो उन पता नहीं ये पूरा प्री प्लानिंग के साथ, जो हमारे गुरुदेव रविदास जी का परिवार है, जो माता मल जी का परिवार है, अपना बिलनी माता का, और जो हमारे नाबादास जी का परिवार है, मैक्सिमम उन परिवारों को ये लोग टारगेट कर रहे हैं।
Locals are now demanding strict action, saying that the missionaries' attempts could have larger and more sinister motives.
जो हमारा इलाका है, हमारे इधर की गरीब लोग हैं, और ये बाहर से दुनिया आकर हमारे लोगों को गुमराह कर रही है। कोई पैसे का लालच देता है, कोई बोलता है तेरे को अगर कोई ऐसी बीमारी है हम ठीक कर देंगे, तेरे को डॉक्टर के पास जाने की लोड़ नहीं है, हम तेरे को घर में ही ठीक कर देंगे। जैसे हमारे वो लड़का एक हैंडीकैप है, उसकी रीढ़ की हड्डी फ्रैक्चर है, उसको उसके घर में भी 3-4 बार गए, वो तो बेचारा वैसे ही घबरा गया। 1-2 दिन पहले उसने बोला ये कौन आ गए हैं, जबरदस्त, उनका घर भी थोड़ा साइड में है, तो वो तो घबरा गया भी कौन बंदे हैं।
The region has a history of security operations, and locals fear such attempts could be masking deeper infiltration attempts under the guise of religious activities.
बहुत दिन पहले से ये काम चल रहा है। ये मशीनरीज कुछ दिन पहले भी आती रही जाती रही, यहाँ पे गरीब लोगों को अपने झांसे में लेती रही है। अब जब काम हद से ज़्यादा निकल गया तो कुछ लोगों ने आवाज़ उठाई कि साहब हमें तो यहाँ पर जबरन बोला जा रहा है कि आपको पैसे देंगे, आपका घर बनवाएंगे।
संकल्प पत्र मानिए घोषणा पत्र आज यहाँ निर्गत होगा। तो इस अवसर पर सबसे पहले मैं महागठबंधन के एक प्रमुख घटक राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस दल के श्री पवन खेरा से आग्रह करूंगा कि वे तो 2 शब्द बोले। अच्छा, तो सबसे पहले मैं आग्रह करूंगा सभी मंचस्थ नेतागण से कि वे घोषणा पत्र को निर्गत करें।
live visuals of the Mahagathbandhan manifesto that is being released. We're getting pictures of everyone on the screen right there, and this is something they had said they would be releasing this. Union Minister, LJP leader Ramvilas Chief Chirag Paswan had also questioned earlier the big deal about this announcement they were making about coming, about what would be in it, what is the basis of these announcements had been said. Let's listen into Pawan Khera.
से पहले मुख्यमंत्री उम्मीदवार घोषित किया। महागठबंधन ने ही सबसे पहले अपना ये प्रण, जिसको घोषणा पत्र कहा जाता है, कुछ लोग इसको जुमला मानते हैं, उधर वाले लोग, उनका जो जुमला होता है वो प्रण।
Yes, so the manifesto being released as Rahul Gandhi skips the launch of the Mahagathbandhan manifesto that is being released. We're seeing Pawan Khera there was making a statement, but now that manifesto that is to be released, the pictures now coming in, the Mahagathbandhan manifesto to be released, and we're getting several people speaking on that. There are several people talking about what could possibly be on the manifesto as the MGB releases the manifesto, and the battleground Bihar is clearly ready with the manifesto also being released. There are several parties giving a seat sharing also that we've seen. But we're also seeing the Mahagathbandhan friendly fights that is a problem in Bihar.
चर्चा करके सबका ध्यान रखते हुए ऐसे मुद्दे इसमें शामिल किए हैं जो मुद्दे बिहार के हर एक व्यक्ति की जिंदगी से जुड़े हुए हैं। ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा क्योंकि सबके पास समय कम है, सब कैंपेन कर रहे हैं। आज जो ये प्रण है, बिहार इसका इंतजार कर रहा था और एक बहुत पावन दिन के दिन, छठ का पर्व आज ही समाप्त हो रहा है। बहुत पावन दिन है जिसमें ये प्रण हम आज आपके सामने रिलीज कर रहे हैं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय बिहार।
अब मैं भारतीय कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी के नेता राज्य के सचिव श्री रामनाथ पांडे से आग्रह करूंगा कि वे संबोधित करें।
अध्यक्ष जी और हमारे महागठबंधन के मुख्यमंत्री के चेहरा तेजस्वी जी, गठबंधन के तमाम नेतृत्व के मित्रों, पत्रकार बंधुओं, आज काफी प्रसन्नता है और हम महागठबंधन के लोगों ने वादा किया था कि हम चुनावी घोषणा पत्र अविलंब आपके बीच लेकर आएंगे। आज पवित्र दिन जो है, आज इस दिन के अवसर पर संपूर्ण बिहार का संपूर्ण परिवर्तन, तेजस्वी प्रतिज्ञा, तेजस्वी प्रण जो हमारा महागठबंधन का आपका घोषणा पत्र है, मैं आपके बीच सीपीआई की ओर से आपके इस प्रतिज्ञा पत्र को संयुक्त रूप से गठबंधन की ओर से पेश करता हूं और यह घोषणा पत्र बिहार के इतिहास में पहला घोषणा पत्र है। हम सब परिवार को, बेरोजगार लोगों को नौकरी देंगे, 5 डिसमिल जमीन देंगे, परिवार के बेरोजगारी दूर करेंगे। आप इस घोषणा पत्र में संपूर्ण बिहार का विकास, परिवर्तन की धाराओं की ओर हम संकल्पित हैं। इस आगे वाले मतगणना के बाद जो परिवर्तन में हमारी सरकार तेजस्वी के नेतृत्व में बनेगी, हम उसी दिन से इस प्रतिज्ञा के साथ आगे बढ़ेंगे। धन्यवाद।
अब मैं आग्रह करूंगा आईआईपी के नेता श्री आईपी गुप्ता जी से। आदरणीय श्री तेजस्वी यादव जी सहित मंच पे जितने महागठबंधन घटक के नेतागण बैठे हैं, सामने मीडिया वाले दोस्तों, बिहार बदलने वाला है। एक नौजवान मुख्यमंत्री का बिहार इंतजार कर रहा है और वो नौजवान मुख्यमंत्री अपने विजन के साथ ये घोषणा पत्र लाया है। बिहार आने वाले दिनों में कैसे बदलेगा उसका एक प्रारूप है, एक रोड मैप है। और इसमें जो सबसे बड़ी बात है कि 20 दिनों के अंदर एक प्रतिज्ञा पत्र है, एक प्रण है तेजस्वी का। और आप देखेंगे कि बिहार किस तरह इस घोषणा पत्र के साथ, इस प्रण के साथ बदलेगा और बिहार बदला जा सकता है। वनवास खत्म होने वाला है, तेजस्वी मुख्यमंत्री बनने वाले हैं और एक नया बिहार का रोड मैप आपके सामने है। मैं आईपी गुप्ता खुशनसीब समझता हूं कि इस प्रण के साथ मैं तेजस्वी जी के साथ हर पल खड़ा रहूंगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू वेरी मच। अब मैं श्री अवधेश कुमार जी CPIM से आग्रह करूंगा कि वो संबोधित करें।
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, भावी मुख्यमंत्री तेजस्वी यादव जी और मित्रों, ये संकल्प पत्र आपके सामने है। यह संकल्प पत्र महागठबंधन की तरफ से यह लिया जा रहा है कि 20 साल नीतीश जी की सरकार सुशासन और कुशासन और बदहाल बिहार के रूप में हम देख रहे हैं। सभी मोर्चे पे नीतीश सरकार असफल हुई है। देश के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा गरीबी है, सबसे ज़्यादा बदहाली है, सबसे ज़्यादा पलायन है, सबसे ज़्यादा अशिक्षा है। हर मोर्चे पे महिलाओं के साथ अत्याचार, दलितों, अति पिछड़ों, आदिवासियों, अल्पसंख्यकों, समाज के जो सबसे कमज़ोर तबके हैं उनके ऊपर दिन प्रतिदिन हमला तेज हो रही है। ऐसी परिस्थिति में बिहार की जनता का मूड है बदलाव का मूड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation. The exercise will run from October 30 to November 10. Under the umbrella of Exercise Trishul, India's armed forces are set to conduct joint operations across diverse terrains, from offensive maneuvers in the Sir Creek and desert sectors to amphibious drills off the Saurashtra coast and multi-domain exercises involving cyber, electromagnetic and unmanned systems. The army has reportedly deployed more than 20,000 soldiers along with main battle tanks, howitzers, armed helicopters and various missile systems.
This is Republic Jack Oliver's studio. Stay tuned for all the breaking news and updates. I am Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous losses involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an F-18F Super Hornet. Both aircraft operate with highly integrated avionics that depend on accurate satellite navigation, data link connectivity to the carrier, and redundant onboard sensors during launch, recovery, and maritime patrol.
रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए, पहचान पत्र के लिए, अपने खेती की सुरक्षा के लिए, बटाईदारों के रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए, पहचान पत्र के लिए लड़ रहे हैं, वो मांग इसमें है। बिहार के तमाम नौजवान जो सुरक्षित रोजगार के लिए, स्थायी रोजगार के लिए, सम्मानजनक वेतन के लिए लड़ रहे हैं, वो मांग इसके अंदर है। बिहार के अंदर आप देखेंगे कि जो सरकारी कर्मचारी है पूरे देश के पैमाने पर, पुरानी पेंशन स्कीम, ओल्ड पेंशन स्कीम, उसको फिर से बहाल करने के लिए लोग हर जगह संघर्ष कर रहे हैं, वो मांग इसमें है। पूरे बिहार में जो सामाजिक सुरक्षा की बात है, एक नई बात इसमें आप देखेंगे कि जो डिसेबल्ड लोग हैं, दिव्यांग लोग हैं, उनका जो पेंशन है उसको हम लोगों ने अलग किया है। जो बुजुर्गों का बाकी पेंशन है 1500 से उसको 3000 अलग किया गया है। तो हमें लगता है कि काफी बारीकी के साथ अलग अलग तबके की अलग अलग जरूरत, अलग अलग मांगों को देखते हुए उसका एक समन्वय बनाने की पूरी कोशिश हुई है। और सबसे जो बड़ा सवाल है कि जो भी इसमें वादा है उसको बिल्कुल पूरा करना है। ये इम्प्लीमेंटेबल है और इम्प्लीमेंट बिल्कुल किया जाएगा। और जैसे ही सरकार बनेगी फ्रॉम डे वन उससे इम्प्लीमेंटेशन का काम शुरू होगा, ये धरातल पर उतरेगा पूरे बिहार के अंदर। तो हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि बिहार की जनता की जो बदलाव की आकांक्षा, जो लंबित आकांक्षा है, 2020 से ही लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि 25 का चुनाव कब आएगा, कब बिहार में सरकार बदलेगी और कब हमारी तमाम लंबित मांगे वो धीरे धीरे बिहार में लागू हो जाएंगी। तो उसके लिए उस दिशा में एक मजबूत कदम है और पूरे बिहार से उम्मीद करते हैं कि लोगों का भरपूर समर्थन इस घोषणा पत्र के लिए, इसको लागू करवाने के लिए और नई सरकार बनाने के लिए मिलेगा। आप सबों का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। नमस्कार।
हमारे अंतिम वक्ता हैं जिन्हें इंडिया गठबंधन ने मुख्यमंत्री बिहार के रूप में घोषित किया है, जिनके प्रति एक आकर्षण नौजवानों में, आम जनता में बिहार में है और बढ़ा है, और जिन्होंने कई योजनाओं को, जो अभी दीपांकर भट्टाचार्य जी ने भी चर्चा की है, 2024 से ही घोषणा की है, जिसको लपक लिया है आंशिक रूप से एनडीए सरकार ने, पूर्ण रूप में नहीं स्वीकार किया है। उन सभी कार्यक्रमों को इसमें घोषणा शामिल किया गया है। तेजस्वी में एक जीवट है, एक संकल्प है बिहार की बदहाली को बदलने के लिए, बिहार को नया रूप देने के लिए, नया स्वरूप देने के लिए, पलायन को रोकने के लिए ये दृढ़ इच्छा शक्ति है, एक संकल्प है जिसको उन्होंने प्रकट किया है समय समय पर। बिहार में जो गरीबी है, बेकारी है, बिहार में जो भ्रष्टाचार है, बिहार में जो अफसरशाही है, इसका अंत करने के लिए, इसको समाप्त करने के लिए, एक नया बिहार को गढ़ने के लिए उनका जो संकल्प है, वो संकल्प भी इस घोषणा पत्र में सम्मिलित है। इसीलिए मैं अब महागठबंधन के द्वारा घोषित मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में श्री तेजस्वी प्रसाद यादव जी से आग्रह करता हूं कि वे अपनी बात करें और संबोधित करें पत्रकार सम्मेलन को।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष जी और सभी हमारे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया के, प्रिंट मीडिया के, पोर्टल मीडिया, यूट्यूबर्स
के सभी साथियों का आज के विशेष प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में स्वागत करते हैं आप लोगों का। और आज खास दिन है हम सब लोगों के लिए। बिहार को हम लोगों को बनाने का काम करना है, केवल सरकार ही नहीं बनाना बल्कि बिहार को बनाना है। बिहार कैसे बनेगा, हमारा विजन क्या होगा, रोड मैप क्या होगा, ब्लूप्रिंट क्या होगा, हम लोगों ने हमेशा बिहार की जनता के सामने, आप लोगों के समक्ष अपनी बात को रखा है। और आज भी बेहद खुशी की बात है कि आज हम सब लोग महागठबंधन के सभी साथी मिलकर के साझा रूप से आप लोगों के समक्ष, बिहार के लोगों के समक्ष संकल्प पत्र जो है रखा है, यानी हम लोगों का प्रण है कि बिहार को नंबर 1 कैसे बनाएं। ये दलों और दिलों का संकल्प और प्रण है। एक एक घोषणा दिल से लिया हुआ प्रण है। अपने प्रण को प्राण झोंक करके भी हम लोगों को अगर पूरा करना पड़े तो अपने प्रण को हम लोग जो है पूरा करेंगे। आप सब लोगों को कहना चाहते हैं कि जब भी कोई बिहारी ठान लेता है तो उसको पूरा करता है। और हम सब लोग नौजवान हैं, नए सोच के हैं, बिहारी हैं और बिहार को अव्वल राज्यों में हम देखना चाहते हैं, विकसित बिहार देखना चाहते हैं। कुछ बाहरी शक्तियां जो हैं, बाहर के जो लोग हैं, बिहार को उपनिवेश बनाना चाहते हैं, जो कि हम लोग हरगिज होने नहीं देंगे। मैं सहानुभूति रखता हूं अपने मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी के प्रति और सम्मान के साथ और बड़ी विनम्रता से मैं आप सब लोगों से कहना चाहता हूं कि बीजेपी के लोगों ने, भ्रष्ट अधिकारियों ने नीतीश जी को पुतला बना करके रखा है। आज हम सब लोग उनकी स्थिति को देख रहे हैं, किस रूप में भाजपा के लोगों ने केवल उनके चेहरे का जो है इस्तेमाल की जा रही है। जैसे पुतला होता है उसी हिसाब से उनको एनडीए में रखा गया है। और अमित शाह जी ने तो पहले ही कंफर्म कर दिया कि अब नीतीश कुमार जी बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री बनने नहीं जा रहे। उन्होंने साफ तौर पे कहा कि अब विधायक दल के लोग विधायक तय करेंगे कि एनडीए का मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा। यानी स्पष्ट बात है कि नीतीश कुमार जी बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री नहीं होंगे। ये बात अमित शाह जी ने कहा है और पहले भी हम लोग कहते रहे हैं कि नीतीश जी का इस्तेमाल जो है भाजपा के लोग कर रहे हैं। चुनाव के बाद वो कभी भी मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश जी को नहीं बनाएंगे और वही बात जो है साबित हुआ है। हम लोगों ने पिछले बार 2-3 दिन पहले ही साझा रूप से मुख्यमंत्री का चेहरा कौन होगा महागठबंधन इंडिया अलायंस के तौर पे वो घोषणा किया, हमारे नाम को जनता के सामने रखा। लेकिन आज तक, अभी तक एनडीए की कोई ऐसी ऑफिशियल प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस या ऑफिशियल घोषणा नहीं हुई है कि भाई एनडीए का मुख्यमंत्री का चेहरा कौन होगा। और हम तो शुरू से कहते रहे हैं कि एनडीए में जो लोग हैं, प्रधानमंत्री की बातों को अगर आप सुनो, एनडीए के मंत्रियों की बातों को सुनो, उनकी नेताओं की बातों को सुनो, एक एक शब्द, एक एक वाक्य को अगर आप लोग देखेंगे तो केवल नेगेटिव बातें, नकारात्मक बातें, कोई भी फलदायक बात, चाहे प्रधानमंत्री हो, अमित शाह हो, उनके मुख्यमंत्री हो भाजपा के, या केंद्र मंत्री हो, कोई भी बिहार को आगे वो कैसे आगे बढ़ाएंगे उसके बारे में कोई शब्द नहीं कहा। क्या विजन होगा एनडीए का अगला 5 साल, क्या ब्लूप्रिंट होगा, अभी तक उन लोगों ने घोषणा पत्र भी जारी नहीं की है। आखिर क्या कारण है? उनके पास कोई प्लान नहीं है, यानी उनके पास विजन नहीं है, यानी साफ तौर पे हम कह सकते हैं कि एनडीए में जो लोग हैं वो सब विजनलेस लोग बैठे हुए हैं और आपस में लगता है सब कुछ ठीक ठाक नहीं है। हम लोगों को बिहार बनाने का काम करना है, उनको केवल बिहार कब्जाने का काम करना है। हम लोगों ने देखा कि पहली बार बिहार में ऐसा हुआ कि 1500 कंपनियां जो है सेंट्रल फोर्सेस की जो है लगाई जा रही हैं और हमको भी पता है कुछ अधिकारी वीसी करके 2-3 दिन पहले क्या क्या इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया गया है, ये हमें अच्छे से पता है, हमारे संज्ञान में है। मैं बड़े विनम्रता से उन सभी अधिकारियों से कहना चाहूंगा कि जिन लोगों ने भी संविधान की शपथ ली है, बिहार को उपनिवेश बनने मत दीजिए। किसी के बात को आप इंप्लीमेंट मत कीजिए, तानाशाही नहीं कीजिए, बेईमानी मत कीजिए, वोट की चोरी मत कीजिए। इस बार बिहार की जनता, हम सब महागठबंधन के लोग सजग हैं। सभी लोग, अगर कोई भी बेईमानी होगी, उन इंस्ट्रक्शन में वीसी में आया है कि जो भी 60% से ज्यादा वोट जिस बूथ पे पड़े हैं, जहां जहां महागठबंधन के मजबूत बूथे हैं, वहां स्लो पोलिंग कराई जाए, स्लो पोलिंग कराई जाए। हम बता देना चाहें, हम लोग इस बार मुस्तैद हैं। एक एक महागठबंधन का सिपाही और बिहार के लोग आसपास बूथ के रहेंगे और पूरा वीडियोग्राफी जो है करने का काम करेंगे। इनके छल कपट की जो नीति है, तानाशाही की जो नीति है, वो बिहार की जनता इस बार चलने नहीं देगी। अपने अपने वोट की रक्षा करेगी और बेईमानी हरगिज नहीं होने देगी। इसलिए हम विनम्र आग्रह करते हैं भाई, जितने अधिकारी हैं, कि भाई ईमानदारी से काम कीजिए, पक्षपात मत कीजिएगा। जो संविधान का आप लोगों ने शपथ लिया है, उस हिसाब से आप सब लोग न्यायपूर्ण जो है काम करने का काम करें। छल कपट चलने वाला नहीं है। आपने देखा कि बिहार की जनता बेताब है, बेकरार है सत्ता परिवर्तन को लेकर के, मौका ढूंढ रही थी। अब मौका 6 तारीख को और 11 तारीख को बिहार की जनता को मिलेगा और इस बार बिहार की जनता मौका चूकेगी नहीं। बिहार की जनता इस बार नौकरी रोजगार वाली सरकार चाहती है। पढ़ाई, दवाई, कमाई, सिंचाई, सुनवाई और कार्रवाई वाली सरकार चाहती है। कारखाने यहां बिहार की धरती पे चाहती है, निवेश चाहती है, फूड प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट चाहती है, एग्रो बेस्ड इंडस्ट्री चाहती है, आईटी पार्क, SEZ जैसे चीजें बिहार में खुले, वो चाहती है। वर्ल्ड क्लास यूनिवर्सिटी बने, अच्छा शिक्षा में गुणवत्ता, लोगों को, बच्चों को अच्छी पढ़ाई हो, दवा की व्यवस्था हो, सुपर स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल्स बने, किसानों का आय दुगुना हो, मजदूरों को राहत और सम्मान दे, भ्रष्टाचार, अपराध और पलायन मुक्त बिहार की जनता इस बार चाहती है। ये सृजन घोटाले वाले, ये बालिका गृह कांड वाले, जो CAG के रिपोर्ट में 70,000 करोड़ से भी ज्यादा घोटाला का जो हुआ है, जो हिसाब किताब नहीं है, बिहार की जनता इन लोगों को सबक सिखाएगी। आज ब्लॉक चले जाइए, थाने चले जाइए, बिना घूस दिए हुए कोई काम नहीं होता। अफसरशाही इतनी हावी हो चुकी है कि जनप्रतिनिधियों का सम्मान नहीं हो रहा, उनकी बात नहीं सुनी जा रही है। मंत्री तो मंत्री रह गया, बेचारा कुछ नहीं कर पाता अपने विभाग में। विभाग जो है सचिव चलाने का काम कर रहा है। ये अफसरशाही जो हावी हुई है, इस बार बिहार की जनता जरूर जो है बदलाव करने का काम करेगी। तो हम ज्यादा कुछ ना कहते हुए, इसमें जितनी बातें हम लोगों ने कही है, जो हमारा प्रण है, प्राण भी निछावर कर करके अपने प्रण को हम लोग इस बार पूरा करेंगे और बिहार को नंबर 1 स्टेट बनाने का काम करेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सब लोगों का। जय बिहार, जय हिंद। पहले एनडीए से पूछिए उनका घोषणा पत्र कब आएगा। हम तो बता देंगे, हम तो काफी आगे हैं। कहां से आएगा, कहां से आएगा, वो सब छोड़िए। एक एक चीजें इसमें जो लिखी गई हैं, बिना एक्सपर्ट्स के राय के, बिना अध्ययन किए, बिना डेटा के हम लोग झूठे टूटे फूटे वादे नहीं करते हैं। जो कहते हैं वो करते हैं, जो कह रहे हैं वो करेंगे, और आप सब लोग इसका गवाह बनिएगा। तो पहले एनडीए के लोग हमको क्या पूछते हैं, पहले अपना तो हिसाब दें कि उन्होंने जितना घोषणा किया है उसका बजट कहां से लाएंगे। हमारे पास तो पूरा खाका पड़ा है, ब्लूप्रिंट पड़ा है, और कुछ दिनों में हम बताने भी जा रहे हैं कि कैसे नौकरियां मिलेंगी। बहुत लोगों को तकलीफ हो रहा है, चुभ रहा है कि तेजस्वी ने ऐसा कह दिया कि हो ही नहीं सकता। वही 2020 में लोग बोलते थे कि कैसे होगा, क्या होगा, और हम आपको कह के जा रहे हैं, जिस परिवार के पास सरकारी नौकरी नहीं है उस परिवार में एक सरकारी नौकरी हम लोग मिलकर के देंगे। ये होने वाला है, इसमें किसी को असमंजस की स्थिति नहीं रखनी चाहिए। बिहार की जनता जो है भरोसा करते हैं और विश्वास करते हैं। तो हमको लगता है कि इसमें कई चीजें हैं, मुख्य बिंदु जो हैं, मुख्य 25 बिंदु हैं, उसके बाद अलग अलग जो सेक्टर की चीजें हैं वो भी इसमें सम्मिलित जो है किया गया है। हमको लगता है एक बार आप लोग इसका अध्ययन कीजिए, बहुत ही इम्प्लीमेंट किया जा सकता है। जो प्रैक्टिकल है वही इन सब चीज़ों को हम लोगों ने घोषणा की है, हम लोगों का प्रण पत्र, इसलिए हम लोगों ने जारी किया है। तो इसमें कोई कंफ्यूजन आप लोगों को रखने की जरूरत नहीं है। नहीं, हमने पहले भी कहा कि भाई जो ताड़ी जो होता है, ताड़ी को इस कानून से हम लोग बाहर करेंगे, ताकि जो पासी समाज जो है उनका पूरा, आप देखिएगा कि आर्थिक तौर पे उनको कितना नुकसान हो रहा, घर परिवार जो है नहीं चल पा रहा, सबसे ज्यादा प्रताड़ना उनको झेलना पड़ रहा है। और टॉडी इट्स नॉट एन अल्कोहल, इट्स अ नेचुरल थिंग। तो हमको लगता है इसमें कई एनडीए के लोगों ने भी हमारी बात का समर्थन किया है। तो वो बाकी चीजें बाद में होंगी, लेकिन हम लोग जो चीज क्लियर है वही बात यहाँ कर रहे हैं। हमने पहले भी कहा कि कुछ दिनों में इसका ब्लूप्रिंट भी आप लोगों के सामने रखेंगे कि कैसे हम देंगे।
चुनाव प्रचार में लगे हुए हैं। अगर वो सब यहाँ दिखते तो आप कहते साहब चुनाव प्रचार नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे साहब और राहुल गांधी जी ने, अब कल से इन सब की प्रचार शुरू हो रहा है, हमारे तमाम नेताओं का, प्रियंका जी सबका, और राज्य के हमारे तमाम
Gandhi manifesto now being released, and we're also seeing RJD leaders present. Tejasvi Yadav is also now saying that we are outsiders are trying to control Bihar. That manifesto being released. That manifesto now being released with Tejasvi Yadav still pointing at attacking outsiders and also saying that this manifesto promises to be there for Bihar in these Bihar elections. The Bihar controversy clearly exploding.
My information, which I can share with you, for the record, if 3 people vote against the continuation of one person, whether that be Mehli Mistry or anyone else as member of the Tata Trust, that makes the person's position unviable. And therefore, we are looking at a situation where there could be a dramatic development in this Tata Trust issue, where Mehli Mistry, who was seen to be leading a revolt against Noel Tata, might himself be in a position where he could be ousted from the Tata Trust itself. Now, this is a very significant development. I do not know what the other business channels are reporting. I think they've got it completely wrong as usual. People can say that what we are putting out is speculative as well, but I can assure you it's not, because we have the highest of sources.
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation. The exercise will run from October 30 to November 10. Under the umbrella of Exercise Trishul, India's armed forces are set to conduct joint operations across diverse terrains, from offensive maneuvers in the Sir Creek and desert sectors to amphibious drills off the Saurashtra coast and multi-domain exercises involving cyber, electromagnetic and unmanned systems. The army has reportedly deployed more than 20,000 soldiers along with main battle tanks, how it says.
Parking in Dharavi, it's a tough ask. Don't talk about cars, they have to be parked at some remote location. Scooters, well, they line the streets, blocking shops and doorways. Neighbors, they often are found fighting with each other for inches of spaces. Talking about ambulances, it's hard for them to enter the space because most of the times they get stuck. Well, as an MSME center, a lot of small-scale businesses, they run here and they require raw materials to be delivered. The delivery trucks, well, they cannot enter these narrow lanes. Now, the only option is laborers, resulting higher cost. Hence, the parking has become a major issue in this area.
मेरा नाम शहाबुद्दीन शेख है। ये गली इतनी कंजेस्टेड है ना कि अंदर कोई भी मटेरियल जाने के लिए बहुत दिक्कत है। अभी आप पार्किंग को देख सकते हैं कितना कंजेस्टेड एरिया है। जाता तो बहुत फायदा होगा, सारा बिजनेस को फायदा होगा, लेकिन ऐसा लगता नहीं कि गाड़ी अंदर जा सकता है यहाँ पे।
There is a no parking board clearly mentioned over here. Still, you can see behind me lots of cars being parked in the middle of the road, resulting in traffic jams and also police challans.
मेरा नाम कृष्णमूर्ति है, उर्फ कन्ना। तो ये 4 व्हीलर का तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। 4 व्हीलर तो अंदर आ नहीं सकता है, बाहर खड़ा करने से लोग स्क्रैच कर देते हैं और चालान कटता है अभी इसका आरटीओ का। और इसके लिए जब तक रास्ता खुलेगा नहीं, डेवलपमेंट होएगा नहीं, तब तक कुछ होएगा नहीं इधर।
For families who dream of buying a scooter for themselves, it's easy. But finding a parking space and also a safer space, it's a bigger task. So we can conclude that becoming a scooter owner is really easy here, but finding a place to park, that's a big task.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous losses involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an F-18F Super Hornet. Both aircraft operate with highly integrated avionics that depend on accurate satellite navigation, data link connectivity to the carrier, and redundant onboard sensors during launch, recovery, and maritime patrol. In the South China Sea, China has systematically layered electronic warfare systems across its man-made islands and outposts to shape the electromagnetic environment and gain asymmetric advantages short of kinetic conflict. China's deployed network combines long-range surveillance radars, shore-based jamming arrays, vehicle-mounted and portable emitters, and frequency-agile signal management nodes. These systems are configured to detect, geolocate, and interfere with a wide band of signals, including GPS, tactical data links, maritime communications, and airborne sensor feeds. The overlapping coverage from multiple outposts creates localized pockets of dense electromagnetic activity where transient interference or deliberate denial can manifest intermittently and unpredictably. For carrier-based aircraft executing precision approaches, low-altitude patrols, or formation maneuvers, even brief disruptions to positioning or data link can produce cascading avionics anomalies that complicate pilot decision-making during critical flight phases. Operational patterns observed in the region show that China integrates jamming and deceptive emissions into broader command and control frameworks that prioritize area denial and early warning collection. Radar and electronic intelligence installations on these Spratly outposts are networked to higher echelon coastal defense nodes, allowing rapid adjustments in emission profiles to counter perceived threats. These nodes can switch frequencies, alter beam patterns, and activate high-power emitters on short notice, producing conditions that can mimic sudden internal equipment failures on affected platforms. Recorded incidents of localized GPS loss, temporary data link blackouts, and degraded satellite communications reported by naval units near these outposts align with the technical signatures expected from such coordinated electronic warfare activity. For rotary and fixed-wing platforms, the most acute vulnerabilities arise when multiple sensor inputs are blended for navigation and weapon employment. If GPS or other navigation signals are jammed or corrupted, the aircraft's internal systems can get wrong position updates, show false terrain or flight visuals, and make automatic carrier landing aids give bad or no guidance. Losing the data link to the carrier cuts off real-time telemetry and recovery instructions, forcing pilots to rely on hand flying in crowded, low-margin conditions. Jammers can also produce fake radar returns that clutter displays and give crews conflicting targets at the worst time. Because modern jamming can be short and intermittent, it often looks like an ordinary equipment fault, making it hard to tell if the cause was internal failure or outside interference. China's doctrine for the South China Sea emphasizes achieving control through integrated non-kinetic measures that lower the risk of open conflict while imposing costs on adversary freedom of maneuver. Building resilient layered electronic denial zones around island outposts fits that doctrine by limiting reliable use of space-based navigation and secure data links by foreign forces. PLA exercises and publicly visible testing in the region have repeatedly demonstrated the use of electronic spectrum operations alongside conventional drills, showing operational proficiency and intent to factor spectrum control into regional deterrence and escalation management. If investigations trace the Seahawk and Super Hornet crashes to deliberate electronic interference, the incident shifts from tragic mishap to geopolitical flashpoint. Attribution would trigger immediate recalibration of US and allied force posture in the South China Sea, with expanded rules of engagement for spectrum hostile environments. Carrier strike groups would likely deploy hardened EW countermeasures, initiate spectrum denial drills, and reclassify Chinese outposts as active threat emitters rather than passive surveillance nodes. Cross-referencing pilot testimony about instrument behavior with contemporaneous
my information, which I can share with you. For the record, if 3 people vote against the continuation of one person, whether that be Mehli Mistry or anyone else as member of the Tata Trust, that makes the person's position unviable. And therefore, we are looking at a situation where there could be a dramatic development in this Tata Trust issue, where Mehli Mistry, who was seen to be leading a revolt against Noel Tata, might himself be in a position where he could be ousted from the Tata Trust itself. Now, this is a very significant development. I do not know what the other business channels are reporting. I think they've got it completely wrong as usual. People can say that what we are putting out is speculative as well, but I can assure you it's not, because we have the highest of sources.
Republic gets the inside story on Tata Trust. Majority votes against continuation of Mehli Mistry in Tata Trust. A massive development which could lead to his ouster. Republic forced to correct misreporting on Tata Trust. Misreporting by the pink media corrected by Republic Business as we get the Tata Trust story spot on this morning. As India's enemies converge in Bangladesh, close to the border with India, radical preacher Hafiz Saeed's aide from Pakistan, Ilahi Zahir, seen camping in Bangladesh border districts to spread hate against India. Top Pakistani General and Chief of Joint Staff Shamshad Mirza, still camping in Bangladesh, will be visiting the Siliguri corridor close to the Chicken's Neck. India issues NOTAM for exercises in Bay of Bengal and another NOTAM for air exercises in the western region. As we flex our military might, Air Force issues a notice to airmen on drills in the western border. The flight ceiling for the latest exercise raised to 40,000 feet. Indian Coast Guard successfully carried out a long-range medical evacuation of a critically injured Iranian fisherman from the fishing dhow Al Owais, located in the middle of the Arabian Sea, approximately 1,500 kilometers west of Kochi. This is a breaking news update that's come in of the Coast Guard operation. These are some pictures that are also coming in at a fair distance of 1,500 kilometers from the coast of Kochi. This operation by the Coast Guard to help those in need, friends mid-seas, and this picture coming in, and we're getting in more details of the Coast Guard operation. This was to evacuate a critically injured Iranian fisherman from the fishing dhow Al-Owais, located in the middle of the Arabian Sea, approximately about 1,500 kilometers from the coast of Kochi. Ishan, my colleague, is joining us with the details. Ishan?
The Indian Coast Guard undertook a heroic operation wherein they rescued an Iranian fisherman from a fishing dhow 1,500 kilometers from the Indian coast. This clearly demonstrated the capability of the Indian Coast Guard to go deep into international waters and perform such a difficult and complex maneuver. The fisherman was brought back to India and is undergoing treatment. This comes at the heel wherein Indian Coast Guard had recently rescued 31 Indian fishermen also whose boat had faced critical component failure and was adrift at sea. Those fishermen were adrift at sea for 11 days and then they were rescued by Coast Guard. These operations significantly show that the Indian Coast Guard's capabilities have expanded a lot and is now one of the most capable forces in this region.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for those details. That's Ishan with the Coast Guard operation. Details of the long-range medical evacuation of a critically injured Iranian fisherman from the fishing dhow Al-Owais, located in the middle of the Arabian Sea, approximately 1,500 kilometers west of Kochi. More details on Cyclone Monta making landfall anytime now between Tururupalam and Keshavadasupalem, located between Antarvedi and Odalarevu in Konaseema district in Andhra Pradesh. Now, landfall is expected between 5:30, 8:30, any time now. Strong winds and heavy rainfall likely in surrounding coastal regions. Residents urged to remain indoors and follow official safety instructions. Several states bracing for Cyclone Monta. We have a reporter there in Kakinada, Andhra Pradesh. Aishwarya is joining us live with details of the landfall and how these states are bracing. 3 states in the path of this storm, Cyclone Monta. If you can give us the details of how each of these states is bracing. Aishwarya.
Currently, what we're learning is that the cyclone Monta is going to hit anytime soon, and it's moving upwards towards the north of Andhra, towards the coastal line, towards upward of the north, where all these districts in the coastal Andhra has been given a high red alert from Kakinada to Machilipatnam to Amarapuram to Rajahmundry. All these coastal districts across the Andhra Pradesh have been given a red alert, and between 5:30 to 8:30, the landslide is what the IMD is predicting, that between these two hours, anytime the drain might intensify, leading to landslides is what they are saying. Where the CM Chandrababu Naidu as well as Deputy CM Pawan Kalyan have taken utmost disaster. They are very much prepared, is what the state government is also saying. With they are shifting several local people living across this coastal line to rehabilitation centers and also providing them food, shelter for the next 2 days. What we are also learning here is this particular landslide can hit between Antarvedi and Ulangalur.